Very good. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd be kind enough to take your seats. The May 18th, 2011 meeting of the City Council is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The council meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. Anybody who watches the City Council meetings and attends the City Council meetings know that we make this announcement every single meeting. It's just a cautionary instruction that the building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. So should alarms activate, please leave through the exits, and our marshal will tell you when it's safe to re-enter. As I say, it's just advise you, no reason to believe this would ever take place. Before we proceed with the agenda, would everyone please rise for the invocation given this morning by Pastor Joel Menchaca, Amistad Cristiano Church, and please remain standing for the pledge.
Almighty God, we thank you this morning for being here. We ask that your knowledge be imparted to our mayor and every council person. We thank you for this morning again, and we ask a blessing over everyone, especially the city of Las Vegas. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ceremonial portion of our agenda, and for our first item, Councilwoman Tarkanian is going to recognize the May Citizen of the Month. Councilwoman.
Fernando Coronado is the poster person for what a contributing citizen should be. He's president of the Easy Street Neighborhood Association, which formed in June 2009. Easy Street is located near Arizona Charlie's in the Charleston Heights Center in Ward 1. It's an area that is an older neighborhood. It's an area that needs extra help, and it needs citizen involvement. As president of the Easy Street Neighborhood Association, Fernando is working with his neighbors to restore pride and a sense of community in his neighborhood. His personal goal is to get people involved in the neighborhood so that once again residents can say that life is easy on Easy Street. Fernando has been instrumental in bringing residents as well as adjacent associations together for block parties, volunteer efforts, and meetings and projects. Some of the association's activities have included Neighborhood Watch, potlucks, and I went to one of those potlucks, and I felt so good there because I felt community. I felt that we're together in this, and we had people, a diversity of people, and it was a wonderful feeling. I felt as if I were back in the farm area again where I grew up because it was family. We were all family and trying to help each other. And they do the painting of the fire hydrants, and they had work on graffiti removal and neighbors helping neighbors with different problems. In response to his neighbors' concerns, Fernando took the lead to address their thoughts and their concerns about a transitional living facility in his neighborhood. Sometimes that coming into a neighborhood can cause some difficulties. but working in a positive manner instead of saying we don't want you and we're going to work against you and we're not going to listen to what you have to say. He worked in a very positive way with this new entity in the neighborhood, and he helped the citizens that live there welcome it. Currently, Fernando is planning to reach out to additional residents who are energized by the recent tree planting events along Evergreen Avenue, where we've planted trees, all of us together, in order to make a tree canopy on that street. Fernando was born in Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, although he calls Las Vegas home. He moved to Nevada in 1977 in search of a better education in life. And Fernando, would you please come up here? And would your family come up here too, okay? You know, Fernando doesn't know this, but when I was first elected to the council, I had a dream or a vision that we could become all together a community, that we could work together and drop some of our biases, that we could work together to build rather than to be negative about things. And so he doesn't know that he sort of is the representative of the vision I had and that I hope will go throughout the city. In his personal life, he enjoys outdoor activities. He goes camping and fishing with his 3 children. He also likes attending off-road desert races and watching Western movies. We should introduce him to Jim Rogers, or you should go through his studio because you'll see a lot about Western movies there. But in any case, I wanted to thank you so very much, and I want you to know that we will have this sign on 4th Street, Citizen of the Month, Fernando Coronado. And is Mr. Coyle here? He was trying to get here. Robert Coyle, is he here? He couldn't come here this morning. He was trying to get his schedule so he could because he wanted to say how proud he was of you and what a great worker you are. And I wanted you to say a few words, please.
Thank you for this award, and it's my honor to meet all of you. But I want to say 2 things. For all the citizens out there, I'll invite you to get involved in your neighborhood, because with the help with your councilwoman or councilman and the city staff, you can accomplish things that you cannot even think of it. And I am proud to receive this, and I'm proud of my neighborhood and my involvement. Sometimes you cannot make everybody happy, but it counts, and you can make a difference if all of us get involved in your neighborhood. And that's why I believe, and it's my honor to be here. I just very proud.
Thank you so much. Could we just have the council get behind him so we could? We're going to take a quick picture if we can. We have to get Mayor Pro Tem and the mayor in here while we still got him here.
Okay.
And okay. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Fernando.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I just want to say thank you to Rob. You know, it's my link between me and you, and Robin and all your staff. You know, they've been so helpful.
I really appreciate your saying that. I know Robin appreciates it, and Rob's smiling over there. And I just want to say that was Neighborhood Services providing planners that help us in the community, and they've been such a wonderful help in doing that, and I'm glad that you complimented them. They deserve that.
Yes, without them, and like I said, it takes a group effort, you know, and with your help and with everybody's help in the city, we can make a difference.
Good. Thank you very, very much. And you can go back to your seat now. And don't forget to look at a sign.
You swing with my notes. My notes.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Again, this
Come on, take the
Lois. She swings with my notes all the time. It's unbelievable. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. For our next item, I'd like to invite Bob Stoddall, the chairman of the Historic Preservation Commission, to join us at the podium as we recognize Historic Preservation Month. Every year, Bob joins us as we present awards to people and entities that embrace the preservation of our history in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, as you know, is a truly unique city with a great history like no other, and I have to compliment Bob and the Commission for all the work that you do. When I see the progress we're making on projects like the Mob Museum and the Neon Museum, it just shows that we have come in making sure that our history will not be forgotten. I also want to say a little prayer for my friend Bob Stodahl, and thank God for his speedy recovery. Bob had a regular physical like we all have, and they discovered a bit of a problem, and he took care of it immediately, went back to the Cleveland Clinic, and he's up and about, looks better. He looked better than, I think they cut off about 40 pounds, to be honest with you. 30. But he looks great, and God blessed you. Thank you. Now, our first award goes to Preserve Nevada. So I'd like to ask Preserve Nevada Director Andy Kirk to join us. We're recognizing, hi Andy. We're recognizing Preserve Nevada for the group's advocacy and assistance in stabilizing funding in the state budget for the State Historic Preservation Office. It's very important to make sure funding is available to preserve our history, and we can't thank you enough for all of your efforts, Andy. Would you like to say a few words, please?
It's really an honor to receive this award on behalf of Preserve Nevada and to recognize the work of Bob and the Preservation Commission, who've done so much to ensure that Las Vegas's history has been preserved as well as it has. There are people all over the world who want to know about this place, and preserving pieces of it is of critical importance for our community. And so it's an honor to receive this award. Thank you.
Great having you here. Thank you. Now, for our next award, I'd like to ask that Mark Hall Patton, the director of the Clark County Museum, to join us, please. We're presenting Mark with an award today for his work in making sure that the Candlelight Wedding Chapel was preserved and relocated to the Clark County Museum Heritage Street. Thanks for keeping this a very important building in our future. Thank you.
I'm not really sure you want to give an historian a microphone. That's not always a good thing. Nonetheless, I do want to say thank you. It's nice to be recognized, and I do want to recognize the Centennial Commission for helping us with this. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And for our final award, I'd like to have Larry Hogsness and Tim Shackelford from the city's Department of Operations and Maintenance to join us up here. The city really has a gem in the northwest part of town in the Floyd Lamb Park at Tule Springs. It's beautiful and historic, and the city has done an outstanding job in rehabilitating the equestrian and livestock areas of the park. All you have to do is go out there. You have the best time of your life, and it's a real jewel, and I'm so happy that you fellas are keeping it up the way you are. Larry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank Tim for all his hard work. I also want to acknowledge Steve Ford, who's the Deputy Director and Facilities Manager for the city, and Lionel Tange, who was the carpenter that was the lead out on the project. Did a fantastic job, so thank you.
Thank you very much. And Bob, you have a few words you'd like to say?
Well, very few words, but as we just mentioned, Tule Springs, you can look around this room and you can see the staff, but also the council and the mayor. We have the Fifth Street School. We have the Mob Museum. These are not just buildings that we have preserved and locked up and they're going to go away. These are living buildings. The Fifth Street School, Tule Springs, these are treasures in our community. They're also stimulus packages. You look at the jobs that the Mob Museum is going to create long term. These are wonderful things that the council can be proud of and support. And I look around here and I see projects from Gary Reese to Steve Ross to all the things that they have been supportive, and I know you've been very supportive, Mayor, so thank you for all the help you've given us.
And thank you, Bob. We have a proclamation for you. The council is declaring that Historic Preservation Month be recognized in our city, and we ask all citizens to join us in its recognition and participate in this very special observance. Congratulations. Take care. Great. For our next item, Councilman Anthony is going to recognize. Yeah, it didn't show up. Right. Thank you, though. Councilman Anthony is going to recognize the efforts of one of our community partners as part of Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. It is, as many of you may or may not know, May by United States Congressional Authority has been selected every year as the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. And this is a time to honor Asians and Pacific Islanders and what they do to make this country a great country and to talk about their culture and everything they stand for. May was actually selected by the United States Congress because it commemorates the immigration of the first Japanese to the United States in 1843, and it's also to mark the anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869, and the majority of the workers who laid the tracks for that railroad were Chinese immigrants. It's a national recognition, and I wanted to select an organization here in the city of Las Vegas that does a lot to make this community a great place to live. And I've selected the Las Vegas Asian Chamber of Commerce. They do quite a bit in this community. Their primary mission is to support businesses and small businesses, and because of that, when they help small businesses, they help for them to be successful, and if they're successful, they create jobs, and that's what we're trying to do, is create jobs. But they do a lot more than that. They do a lot to make this community a great place to live. They do quite a bit to help education in this community. So I know we have some representatives of the Asian Chamber of Commerce, so if you could please stand and be recognized, all of you. Come on. I see you all there. Mindy, stand up too. Mindy, come on. And I want to recognize one of our elected officials. If you could raise your hand, Jerry Schroeder from the city of Henderson City Council. Okay, I wanted to recognize one specific individual from the Asian Chamber of Commerce, a good friend of mine, the president, Vita Lin. Vita, would you mind coming down here, please? Let me tell you a little bit about Vita Lin. She has been very active in this community, and like I said, she's a good friend of mine. So I want to tell you some of the things that she does on a regular basis to make Las Vegas a great place to live. As an active board member in the Asian Chamber of Commerce and the Organization of Chinese American Las Vegas chapters, Vita's involvement has helped advance local businesses and Asian Pacific Islander American civil rights. Due to Vita's wide network in the nonprofit community, she's able to connect large corporations such as the MGM Resorts International, Caesars Entertainment, and Citigroup, both locally and nationally, to help with her community events. With the Asian Chamber of Commerce, Vita has helped develop and grow key annual events such as the Chinese New Year's Community Achievement Awards, the Bill Endow Golf Tournament, and the Asian Business Night. Vita co-founded the William Bill Endow Foundation, which is currently the Asian Chamber of Commerce's foundation, and was crucial in raising over $250,000 in the last 13 years to help Clark County high school students attend college. Recently, Vita was elected to serve as the president of the Asian Chamber of Commerce, and she is the first female to hold that position since the Chamber's inception in 1986. Vita's other accomplishments include the Women's History Month Community Service Award, the General Motors Organization of Chinese American Unsung Hero Volunteer Award, and the Japanese American Citizens League Community Service Award. So on behalf of everything that Vita does, on behalf of what she represents as far as the Las Vegas Asian Chamber of Commerce, and everything that is we do to recognize Asian and Pacific Islanders for the month of May, I would like to present to Vita Lin City of Las Vegas Recognition Certificate signed by the Mayor and the entire City Council. Vita.
I'm very honored to receive this award. But I really have to thank the Asian Chamber of Commerce and what they do to make my life so joyful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes.
Also on Friday, we have the joint luncheon. We have a speaker as Mayor Oscar Goodman. We invite everyone to come on Friday. It's going to be at the Paris Hotel at 11:30. Thank you.
Thanks, Vita. Okay, thank you. Oh, sure, that'd be great.
Can I get my board too?
Sure.
Sure, come on down.
Can I get my board?
Yes.
And you.
Could the board please come
and
down?
Executive
Yui,
Director.
come on.
Come on, Yui.
Mindy.
And Mindy.
Don't hide over there.
And Mindy too.
Mindy.
Yeah.
Somehow I found my way to Las Vegas. I don't know how I did it. Thank you. Good to see you there.
I see you. Good to see you. Take care, okay? Very
See you
good.
Friday.
Yes, I'll be there. For our next item, Councilman Wolfson is going to recognize one of our most popular amenities that has recently been improved and is now part of the city's sustainability initiative. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Good morning, everyone. Let's have a little fun, okay? I asked the mayor a couple minutes ago if he had one of his mayor's chips in his pocket. And you always have a mayor's chip in your pocket, but this morning he doesn't. So the winner of this contest, the mayor assures me he's going to give one of his mayor's chips to. Here's the contest. It does not apply to city staff. It applies to our students and young children in the audience. You haven't heard the contest yet. The contest is this. Who can tell me what a natatorium is? Anybody know what a natatorium is? Okay, now I'm sure they all have their iPhones and they're Googling. This young man says he does. Do you know what a natatorium is?
Isn't it a place where there's a swimming pool?
Close. He said a place where there's a swimming pool. So you get half a chip, okay? No, I'm going to get you a chip for sure because you're real close. A natatorium is a fancy word for a pool cover. And we're going to talk about a pool cover, and I'm going to get you one of the mayor's chips. I am very pleased to say, after many years of planning, design, and construction, a natatorium, a pool cover, was built around the Pavilion Pool in Ward 2, and it was reopened on December 13th, 2010. Those that regularly used the pool before it was closed for construction were excited to see that it was available for practices and competitions, and most importantly, the natatorium allows people to swim year-round. When you cover a pool, you can control the environment. So in December, when we couldn't swim in the pool, now we can swim year-round. Those who would never think of using the outdoor pool in December were excited to learn that they could now swim in the winter months indoors during our scheduled open swim, and that's throughout the week and on Saturdays. I'm excited to say that not only is the pool very popular with swim teams, swim clubs, families, it is also popular with those who look at it from a design and sustainability perspective. The City of Las Vegas has made sustainability one of our top priorities, and this pool enclosure was designed with that in mind. Because of that, this project, the natatorium, and this is at the Pavilion Center Pool, which is right next to Palo Verde High School, has been given a 2 Green Globe certification by the Green Building Initiative. This is equivalent to the LEED Silver certification that you hear about in other buildings. So at this time, I'd like to invite Jorge Cervantes and our sustainability guru, somebody else picked up that word, Tom, Deputy Director of Administrative Services, Tom Perigo, up here to let you know some of the elements of this project and to accept this beautiful, my gosh. The City of Las Vegas obviously did not pay for this. This is too nice of a plaque. So I'm going to present this to you. It says City of Las Vegas Pavilion Pool Cover, 2 Globes Certified, 2010, recognized for environmental and energy efficient design by the Green Globe's new construction rating system. So congratulations on behalf of the City of Las Vegas, Jorge. And please tell us about this natatorium and what a wonderful thing it is.
Certainly. Thank you, Councilman. Please. Yeah, the natatorium, the enclosure that we have out there in Pavilion Pool, really does a lot for that facility out there. As the Councilman mentioned, it allows it for it to be used year-round, where in the past we could only use it during summer months when the weather was warm. Now we have the ability to program it throughout the year. This pool was actually built in 2002 by the Howard Hughes Corporation as part of their Summerlin development. And there was always an intention to enclose it, and after it was dedicated to the city, wasn't able to enclose it because of financial situations. Now that it's enclosed, we've got about 24,000 square feet of heated area that can be used throughout the year. The enclosure also includes a retractable roof that opens up so that in the summer we can let the natural sun come in. And then we've got 7 18-foot wide roll-up glass doors that also can be opened up and let some natural air flow through the facility. And so with that, it certainly allows the program is pool to be used throughout the year instead of just during certain times.
Yes, thank you. This building and its certification is a result of a policy that this council adopted back in 2006, and that was the Green Building Resolution. And that was a long-term strategy to make sure that our buildings and facilities are more energy efficient, use less water, are less costly to operate and maintain, are more environmentally friendly, and the indoor environment is much healthier for the occupants of those buildings. And so that long-term strategy is now starting to pay off, and as a result of this building and other work that the city is doing, this community is now recognized as a world leader in green building. So it's really quite an accomplishment that was started by the council back in 2006. So it's really exciting that this building has been recognized and certified at this very high standard of green building.
Thank you. And just in closing, I want to thank Jorge and Tom for your great efforts. Not only for this project, but the whole sustainability green effort. So let's give them a round of applause, please. Oh my God. Where'd this come from? Did you pull it from behind your ear or something like that? Young man, come up here real quick. Mayor, why don't you do it? Why don't you give
It's
us
my pleasure. My pleasure. You're very smart. What is your name?
Dakota Jones.
Dakota, you're the smartest person in the room because there's not one adult here who ever heard of a natatorium. I thought it was someplace where they feed ants. How did you know that?
They talked about that word at last year's National Spelling Bee.
Were you in that?
Yes.
How did you do?
I tied for 33rd plus.
In the whole world?
For the nation, anyways.
Well, that's pretty good. I'm going to give you 2 chips now. I may need you someday. Here we go. Congratulations. Great job. Great job. 33rd in the nation. That's pretty darn good. What word knocked you out? Can you spell it now? I bet you can. You probably have nightmares about it every night.
I only left the last letter off.
And how do you spell it?
T-I-R-A-L-E-E.
Boy, oh boy, is he smart. Wow. Congratulations. That's terrific. Okay, for our next item, Councilman Ross is going to recognize 2 groups of athletes who are state champions. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. From the natatorium to the basketball court and the bowling alley. Whenever we have young people who excel, whether academically or athletically, here in the city of Las Vegas, we need to recognize them. And today, there are more young people in the audience than there are old people, present company excluded, of course. Before I do this, though, I want to bring down Centennial High School Assistant Principal Doug Wilbur. Doug, would you join me to recognize these 2 great teams? Doug works 80 hours a week. one of the top guys up at Centennial High School, and I'm glad he's here with me to recognize these great athletes. And I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to bring the athletes down first, and then I'm going to talk about them. I want to bring the Centennial High School boys varsity bowling team down. Ryan Campbell's not here. He's ditching school today. Trevor Lilly, Connor Lilly, and Garrett Page. Come on down here, guys. Give them a round of applause. We have their head coach, Greg Seiden. Greg, Coach, thanks for joining us. And Coach, stand right here with me because I want you to tell us all the good stuff about these boys. This year, the boys varsity bowling team from Centennial High School won their first state title championship. What a wonderful accomplishment that was. This was the first time a school in the Northwest region won the state title. The boys had a season record of 65-7, which was good for first place in the Northwest. This is the interesting part. The boys defeated Southeast Career Technical Academy in the championship match by 1 pin. Amazing, by 1 pin. Captain Connor Lilly had a high average for the season with a 206.2. How do you get the 2.2? Okay. Connor is the only senior on the team, so they are hoping to be the state champions next year as well. Please give them a round of applause as I hand the microphone to the coach.
Thank you. I just want to say this is my first year coaching the team, and what a gift to get these guys. I just got extremely lucky. I also want to thank Connor and Trevor's dad, Mark, over there, as well as Sandy. She's one of your employees. They never missed practices. They were so supportive the entire season. Also, I know Connor missed. They made the playoffs the last 3 years, and he just missed the championship, so he was happy to get it now as a senior. And I know he wants to say a few things.
Connor, let's have it, buddy.
I'd like to thank everyone for making us come down here and allowing us to do that. Allowing us. I gotta miss school, so. Yeah. All right. This is Centennial's first title, as you said. And his senior year just makes it even more sweet, as winning. My first 2 years came close. Third year wasn't close, but now this year, 4 good bowlers who made it. And just thanks for having us come down here.
Thank you. Give him another round of applause. Gentlemen, thank you. The mayor does not have a chip for you. No. Thanks, Coach. Oh, he's digging. Are you really?
Sure, for the 3 guys, sure.
Whoa. Uh-huh. None to plentiful. Just tell Ryan that he won't ditch school again. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Ryan. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Have a seat, boys. Now, thank you. Now, I'm going to invite the Centennial High School girls 4A Girls State Championship team down. Come on down here and join us. As you're coming down, I'm going to read some names off. Paige Barber, Simone Barber, Jada Brown, Shannon Brown, Clayton Demers, Courtney Hayes, Tiara Hicks, Tramina Jordan, Denasia Kai, Ashley Clems, Austin Long, Shelby Valentine, Tamara William, Brianna Workman, with their head coach Karen Weitz, and assistant coach Katie Lutman.
Congratulations.
Now, what do the T-shirts say, girls? What do the T-shirts say? Who's the team captain? I'm gonna have to step out here. Where's Courtney? Courtney, are you in charge?
Yeah.
Are you the top dog? Okay. Let me see that. What's up on the back of the shirt? Oh, I told you we were coming. Okay. This is pretty intimidating. Yeah, get a good look at that. All right. The women's basketball team at Centennial High School won the 4A state championship this year for the 6th time in the school's history since being established in 1999. They were also the Northwest Division champions for the 12th consecutive year and the Sunset Region champions. Their overall record was 32-1, going undefeated in the entire state of Nevada. The team is comprised of 9 scholar athletes with an overall team GPA of 3.4. Centennial's program has helped many athletes obtain college basketball scholarships, and this year both seniors have signed with Division I colleges, which will provide a full scholarship for each. Courtney Hayes will attend LaTeX University. Ashley Clems will attend Utah Valley University. All of these young women did a great job and a tremendous effort in representing Centennial High School out in the Centennial area. And Courtney, you're the captain. Tell us about these T-shirts.
Actually, the 6 times or whatever, Coach made it up, the dice or whatever, and it's real nice in the back. I told you we were coming. 2011, it's real nice. But I couldn't have done this without these two right here. They put a lot of effort into what we do, stay on top of our grades, missing assignments, we're not having it. These girls behind me, they like my sisters. These two boys can be brothers, I guess. And yeah, it's just a big family. I mean, we're really close, and we look out for one each other. So, really.
All right, Coach, you want to say a few words about these girls? Oh, there's two captains on this team.
Yes, there is.
And they tell us the good stuff. Okay, you've just been fired.
We just want to thank everyone for having us come down here. The shirts simply just say, and then there were 6 because it was their 6th state championship this year. Their shooting shirts they wore this year said shooting for 6. That's what it said. So then we just kind of added in the dice to be a little Vegas style, and that's basically the story of the shirt. But we want to thank you, Councilman Ross, for having us down here, and Mayor and all the rest of you. And it's just a great honor for the kids. They really do work hard. This is a great group. I mean, for them to accomplish what they did this year, I was just really proud of them because they definitely deserved it. Thanks.
You have another round of applause. Great team. Thank you very much, Coach. Ladies, thank you very much.
Coach is a great coach. Great coach. Okay. Now for our final 2 items. Nope, not true. For our next final 2 items, Councilwoman Lois Tarkanian is going to recognize the efforts of one of our brightest students and the accomplishments of a group of young athletes based at Mirabelli Community Center. Councilwoman.
Let's put his notes where I won't take them. Put his notes where I won't take them. Today we're going to honor a very special person. He's a very special student, and that's Dakota Jones. And would his mom and dad and sister come up too, please? And let me tell you why Dakota is so special. 14-year-old Dakota Jones is an 8th grader at Hyde Park Middle School and Academy of Science and Mathematics. Dakota has been the Clark County School District Spelling Bee champion in his grade level every year since 6th grade. Back in February of this year, he correctly spelled hubristic to win a Nevada State spelling competition for the 2nd year in a row. And as the winner of that state competition, he will go on to compete in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C., also for a 2nd time. I don't know if you know how difficult this is to do. Let me ask you, Dakota, tell us a few of the words that came out there. What was the word you won with last time in the state?
The last year?
Yes.
It was dandiacal.
Dandiacal, yes. See? Was that easy?
Sounds like natatorium to me.
Yeah. The words aren't easy, and there you have the pressure. And imagine you're up there, and you were there at the National Spelling Bee, was it? Or it went back for 6 times, or was that the state?
That was state.
Yes, and you said at that time it got to be a little hard because you were going back and forth, back and forth. Imagine the pressure. You get a word, they get a word, and these words coming out you may have never heard before. But anyway, he's great in what he does. And Hyde Park, where he attends, is a magnet school that specializes in mathematics and science. He's a member of his school's orchestra, and he's also involved in math counts competitions. One of his favorite classes in school is history, because he enjoys learning the story of our country. And he's a Boy Scout, has earned the Life Scout rank in addition to many merit badges. He aspires to earn the Eagle Scout rank in the future, and his other interests include anything related to food or astronomy. Do you eat much food? Yes. You look really thin. Dakota's other interests are in those areas, and I'd like to have him say a few words to you, and I want to tell you how wonderful it is to have someone from our Clark County School District, someone who resides in the city of Las Vegas, who won the state championship in the spelling that many years and went on to represent us very well in the Nationals.
was really great that I could participate in this spelling bee and that I could be honored here at this meeting today. The words are not always easy, especially when you get to the national level. You don't know almost any of them there. Yes? Yes, I actually did try to study the dictionary, but it's so big, and there's like 100 words on every page, and then there's 3,000 pages in it. So there wasn't really enough time to study the whole dictionary. I tried to study some books with words in them to get ready for the V.
And I know that your mother and dad have helped you a lot.
Yes.
Has your sister helped you?
Not
She
not
smiled
too
for
much.
you all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dakota, this mayor and city council recognize you for being the spelling bee champion of your grade level for the past 3 years, for winning the state of Nevada spelling bee competition for 2 years in a row, and for competing in the Scripps National Spelling Bee for the 2nd year in a row. And good luck this year in that national.
Okay.
This goes to you. Okay. And can we take a picture with the mayor?
Like this, brother. Like this, brother. Hi, folks. Congratulations. You're going to be very good parents. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good job. We'll be looking for you to win the Nationals.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh, yes, you do. The mayor wants you to keep it for a long time. Okay. And now we go from the academics to the athletics to show the diversity of excellence we have here in the city. And today we honor the USA Cheerleading Junior Nationals first place winners. Justice, no, take this. Take that. Yeah. Now we're going to hear a little bit of noise, aren't we? In March, the Cheer Maniac squads from the Mirabelli Community Center competed at the Junior National event held by the United Spirit Association. And the Maniacs competed, that's what they call themselves, and I love that name. The Maniacs competed against other recreational and youth organizations from the western United States. The teams had to qualify at a regional competition, which was held here in Las Vegas on January 8th. And the Maniacs had 2 teams competing. A junior team competed in the Pee Wee Open Advanced Division, and our senior team competed in the Midget Open Advanced Division. I want you to know that both teams won first place in their competition, and they are the national champions for their age level and divisions in the Spirit Awards. The senior team also had the honor of winning the National Grand Champion Award, which distinguishes them as having the highest score of the entire national competition. And all we can say is, way to go, Maniacs. That's it. Due to time constraints, I'm going to first call up the coaches and have them say a few words. And then I will call all the girls' names from the junior squad and let them have a picture with the mayor and council. And then they get seated and we'll have all the senior girls come up. So that way we won't lose anybody in the picture. Okay, so let's have coaches Bo Doyle, Mona Doyle, and Jennifer Blanchard, and coordinator... And coordinator Linda Ryan. Is she here today? Oh, there she is, yes. I'm going to ask them to say a few words to you about this team and what it does here in the community. But first of all, I want to tell you a little bit of history, since we dwelt on history a little earlier. You know Mr. Bo Doyle. Do you understand what he did in 1990? 89, 90. Do you know what he did? He was the shark mascot for the national championship team. For the national championship team. Yes, he was. And didn't you get a trip to Japan that year or someplace? Twice. Because they thought he was so great, they wanted him to come over there. And I want you to know he was picked as the top outstanding mascot in the United States that year. It was a little, yeah. I think that's pretty good. And I'm going to turn this over to you because I know how much they do at Mirabelli and how well known they are nationally for their groups.
Thank you. We just wanted to say thank you for recognizing our two hardworking teams. Are you guys hardworking? Yes. I've never known them to be so quiet, so this is good and bad. We just want to say thank you for recognizing us. The kids were amazing. They went to this national competition, and they won everything, which we were pretty darn excited about. They worked hard. Lois, we also brought you some pictures from our event, and we also wanted to make you an honorary maniac. And Mayor, if you want one too, we'll make you a sparkly one too.
I would love one.
Hey, that could be done.
Good.
That could be done. Yes. Did you want to say something?
I would just like to say that we have a great staffing team at the Mirabelli Community Center, as well as Jennifer, who's one of our full-time city staff as a recreation leader there. I'm very proud of the work that our employees have accomplished, as well as our girls. It was great to see them. It was the first year at the City of Las Vegas Mirabelli Community Center that we established our cheer squad, and for them to win 2 national championships was very impressive. And it's warms everybody's hearts to be able to be here today, and we appreciate this opportunity.
I'm not shy of a microphone. I just want to thank each and every one of the girls. They worked unbelievably hard, and the discipline that they go through to get to the stage that they've gotten it's amazing. If they screw up one time, can I say that? Okay, if they mess up one time, sorry, excuse me, we start over. We go over and over until they do it perfect, and it showed. Out of 57 teams, we took Grand National champs, and our juniors worked just as hard and took first place in their division. So, thank you, ladies.
It is awesome, and I'm going to give all of these awards to you so that you can distribute them later. But I do want to have each of the junior team come up here, please, so you can have a picture with the council. And that's April Adair, Brooke Adair, Sydney Baker, Gianna Bastida, Jaylene Bastida, Christina Colwell, Reese Ditto Piccolo, Haley Durbin, Lindsay Endelman, Braylene Foster, Savannah Frainer, Caitlin Lucas, Cassidy Moore, Madison Noche, Callie Roberts, Madison Ryan, Mackenzie Ryan, Kylie Scherer, Skylar Schilling, Elena Stuckey, Morgan Taylor, Ryan Waldron, Lindsay Wheeler, Hope Whipple, and I want to tell you, these kids are great. I've seen them do many different things. Here, let's have you so you can all be seen in the picture and have someone take. Yeah, so they can see well, honey. Can you see them okay for the picture?
There we go.
Okay. Okay.
Great.
Thank you very much
Thank you,
to our
ladies.
junior team. Thank you very, very much. You take care. You take care. Congratulations. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. I love your shirts too, your jackets. Congratulations. You take care. And now I would like to bring up our senior team, Kelsey Affaga, Leah Allen, Stevie Baker, Bailey Bergstrom, Bailey Blanchard, Bethany Blanchard, Kelly Boyett, Alexis Candito, Charity Cave, Quincy Collins, McKinney Confer, Sandy Garcia, Sophia Garcia, Bailey Garrity, Alexa Millard, Anissa Rivera, Sophia Sutton, Ashley Tackett. Very good, very good. Alisa Tambero, Samantha Tambero, Aspen Terry, Brooke Williams, Yasmin Wise, and Taylor Witt. To have them come up here. You know, it's really interesting. I go to some of the things, in fact, I go as often as I can to Mirabelli. It's such an enjoyable time there. And I've been there when some of these youngsters were in other activities, and I've seen people sitting next to me on the lawn as we've watched them perform. And so I lean over next to me and I say, you have a daughter in this? And she says, yes. And then I said, oh, where do you live? And she says, Henderson. So I just thought you ought to know, Mayor, that how bright we are when you drive all the way from Henderson to go to Mirabelli Center, right? And practice. You girls make us very, very, very proud. And thank you very much for representing us so well. Would one of you like to say something?
Our captain, yes.
The captain?
I would just like to thank you, our coaches. We wouldn't have been in this position if it wasn't for you guys. And thank you for honoring us and having this opportunity to come here and being honored and recognized. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very, very nice. And now we'll take a picture. You're going to have a picture with the mayor and the city council.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll sneak in here, okay, girls?
Okay.
Here we are.
Thank you very much.
Good job. I got one more. Yeah? One more. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming down. Okay. Now for our last item on the ceremonial agenda, we're going to recognize our May Employee of the Month. I'd like to ask the city's Acting Director of Detention and Enforcement, Michelle Freeman, to join us at the podium. Michelle? And I'm proud to announce that the May Employee of the Month is Deputy City Marshal David Cook. Dave? Good having you here. Dave has been with the city since 1987, and he's truly deserving of this honor. On March the 5th, while on patrol, Dave was flagged down by a frantic gunshot victim. Dave got the shooting victim, pulled over, and helped him out of his vehicle to begin treatment. The victim was bleeding profusely from a gunshot wound in his thigh and wouldn't cooperate with Dave's instructions. By staying calm and persistent, Dave was able to get the victim to cooperate. Dave provided direct pressure to the wound, believing that the victim's femoral artery had been hit and that this was a life-threatening situation. While providing medical treatment, Dave was also able to coordinate the response of medics and other law enforcement officers. David continued to talk to the victim and was able to get information about where he was shot. And this information was passed on to Deputy City Marshal David Compson when he arrived on the scene, and a search of the area provided witnesses and a detailed description of the suspect. Although the victim was upset and difficult, Dave remained professional and focused and was a comfort to everyone present. His quick and decisive actions may have very well saved the victim's life. We appreciate the poise and dignity that David brings to the job, and I attest personally to how professional you always are when we're together. You're a great marshal. And on behalf of the entire City Council, it's a pleasure to name you the May 2011 Employee of the Month. And along with this certificate, David received a $100 Visa gift card. You still have it? Wait a minute up. You're burning it up? You have any of it left?
No, babe.
I like the Bulls. Okay. Okay, forget about it. And a donation of $100 is going to be made to the charity of your choice by Super Pawn. So I'd like to ask Michelle to say a few words and then hand the mic over to David.
Thank you, sir. Dave has been an employee with us for 24 years. That's a long time. It's a true credit with his dedication and efforts for the city of Las Vegas, and he's been an outstanding employee. He's most deserving of this award today, but more than anything else, I'd like to share that he's got a great attitude, wonderful personality, and you can always count on him for a good story. So thank you very much for a wonderful job done and continuing to dedicate yourself to the city the way you do. Appreciate it.
I don't know what to say. I really appreciate it. I'm at a loss for words, and that's not easy for me. I would like to say every time, everybody, they have a crappy day, sorry. At the job, I always look back at my old construction days. I worked construction until I was 33, putting up fence. And I go home, I get mad. My wife says, well, you could be putting up fence 110, 115 degrees. No, thanks. I love this job. I love the town. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And this is for you. Dave, this is for you.
That's a good score. Thank you,
There
sir.
we go. Good.
I got a few.
You want to share them?
No, not right here.
Okay, that's it for the ceremonial. Okay.
Good job with the chips.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it till I was up there.
Hi, everybody. Can you make it through?
Yep.
Hi, what's your name? Nice seeing you. How are you? Okay, that's great. And what's your name, young lady?
I'm Jada Nurse.
Hi, Jada. How you doing? Oscar Goodman here. There you go.
J-A-D-A?
J-A-I-D-A.
Stand by the game.
Yes.
She got who?
Yes. Do you know her? Do you know her?
You learn a little.
Do you know her?
You're on TV. So you're on live TV right now. You're on live TV. So no nose picking, no scratching, nothing like that. Not only are you on live TV for the next hour, but it's rerun.
Now what we're going to do? Oh, we can't do it. In the old days, we had a little buttons here that you push. Now we don't do it anymore. Now it comes up on the computer screen. And so if I want to vote yes, I'll tell you that. And then you push over here. It comes like a yes. Just push it, hold your finger to it like that. And then it will register as our vote, okay? Good. Councilman, which one of the ladies is going to be helping you with the vote?
Vote?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you want Jada? She's the student body president.
Well, this young lady knows how they can.
Why don't they share?
They can share. Okay, fine. I'll go from one to the other, and then the way it works is, it says yes here. If I want yes, I'll tell you yes, and you just push it. Sometimes you have to keep your finger on there a little long, so my name will come up. Okay, good. Okay. I think everybody's ready, okay?
Jada to your left.
Yes. Absolutely. Let's get the minutes, and then we'll go right after that, okay? All right. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to begin our regular morning calendar, and we're going to call item number 13. Item 13 is any items from the morning session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time. Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, sir. This young lady right here is going to read this for us. Okay, let's see, item number 54. Tell me your name first, though.
Hello, my name is Antonasia Span, and I'm student body treasurer for 100 Academy of Excellence.
Okay, read this right here first.
Discussion and possible action.
Item 54.
Item 54. Discussion and possible action. Read a temporary class. Number 3. A second-hand dealer, license Anthony J. Rilla, Jr., DBA, gold and silver jewelry supply.
1300 East Sahara Avenue.
1300 East Sahara Avenue.
Staff has to strike.
Strike requested by staff.
Thank you very much. Are there any other items we need to bring forward at this time? Hearing none, I make a motion we bring this item forward and take the appropriate action, please.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Just touch the yay, where it says yay. There you go. Good. Opposed, please. Motion carries. Thank you. Then we'll go on to item number 14, approval of the final minutes by reference of the regular City Council meeting of April 20th, 2011. May I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes?
Yes, Your Honor. No additions or deletions. I make a motion to approve those minutes, please.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Then you touch yay. There you go. Opposed? Motion carries. Now, before we go on any further, I'm going to call upon Councilman Barlow to introduce the guests that we have sitting next to us here who are helping us with the voting process on the City Council agenda. Councilman?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you so very much. And today, I would like to introduce the students who represent the 100 Academy of Excellence and Imagine Schools in the Valley. Both are charter schools with a special focus of parent involvement and character development of their students. Imagine Schools has 76 campuses around the country. They built their first Southern Nevada campus in 2006 as a partnership with the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. In 2008, the Imagine School in the Valle was formed. This year, Imagine School and Mountain View will start educating children in the fall. We want to thank the principals of 100 Academy of Excellence, Miss Peggy Selma, and Imagine School in the Valle, Miss Connie Jordan, for allowing their students to join us here today. So please help me welcome the students from the 100 Academy of Excellence. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, and if the youngsters would please identify themselves and tell us what their position is on their council, I'd appreciate it, starting to the left of Councilman Barlow.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Obi Okafor, and I'm the vice president of the school at Imagine Valle in the Imagine School in the Valle.
All right.
My name is Myra Aguilera, and I am the secretary of the school, Imagine Valle.
Councilwoman. Either one. I want to hear some energy.
My name is Cameron Raspberry. I am the treasurer of Imagine Valle.
And why don't you lean over here?
Hi, my name is Jada Gilder. I'm the student council president of Imagine School in the Valle.
Very good. Anastasia, can you make it? Right here. Oh, okay, you're probably better there.
Just stand up.
My name is Antonasia Span, and I'm student body treasurer for 100 Academy.
Here you go, baby.
My name is Destiny Harris, and I'm student body president of 100 Academy.
Yay.
My name is Yolanda Gomez, and I am corresponding secretary for 6th grade at 100 Academy of Excellence.
Very good. Excellent. Well, you're all certainly welcomed, and we appreciate that you're helping us today. Items 15 through 51 are on our consent agenda, and they're considered to be routine. They're recommended for approval by the departments and may be enacted in one motion. Are there any items that the council wishes to bring forward at this time?
Mr. Farlow wanted to bring item number 47 forward.
47, okay. Anything else?
Your Honor, I would like
All right.
item number 17 brought forward for a minor correction.
17, okay.
And Mayor Goodman, number 21, please.
And 21. So we have 17, 21, and 47. All right, with those items being brought forward, Mayor Pro Tem, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve items 15 through 51 with the exceptions of 17, 21, and 47 with all conditions, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Whose turn?
Thanks.
There you go. Yes, good. Post? Motion carries. You caught on real fast, didn't you? Okay. All right, bless you. Item 17 is approval of an interlocal agreement between the City of Las Vegas and the Regional Flood Control District for television production services in the amount of $84,900 revenue.
Your Honor.
Who requested that?
Brad.
Mr.
I did.
Jervik?
Thank you, Your Honor. On page 1 under the recitals, the second recital incorrectly identifies the board's intent to produce 6 new television programs. It should say 5 new television programs consistent with the rest of the agreement. With that change, I recommend approval.
All right, thank you very much.
With that correction, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve item 17, please, with all other conditions.
All right, there's a motion. Please vote. Yes, please. There you go. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is 21. 21 is approval of award of contract number 110179-TB, Oracle Software Contract, Department of Information Technologies. Award recommended to Oracle America, Inc., in the amount of $1,223,211, Sanitation Enterprise Fund and Information Technology Internal Service Fund. Ms. Falter, did you want to be heard on this?
Actually, I'm the one that asked that it be pulled.
All right.
And the reason is I got a call from a constituent who I think is also a city employee, and he just had some general questions and thought, and I tend to agree that if we have something that is causing $1.2 million to be paid out, that we shouldn't do it on the consent, that we should give an explanation publicly, and I tend to agree. So I asked that it be pulled.
All right.
Item 21 is the purchase of 2 Oracle software applications. The first is customer care and billing. We're currently on our old legacy system for our sanitation billing application. We need to get off of that, and this will provide additional enhanced features and allow us to bill in a much more timely, much more accurate, and our constituents would have access to some of this information. The second module is governance, risk, and compliance. It's kind of bundled with the Oracle Care and Billing. As we research this, Jill Marcella could answer any additional questions you have, but we will see this is a 1-year return on this investment. We're purchasing this because it benefits primarily the Sanitation Enterprise Fund. We're purchasing it with the Enterprise Fund monies, and it will get us off the legacy system and save us what we've been paying to get one of the last applications off of there.
And that's something I want to emphasize. This is not general fund money being spent, is it?
It's not general fund money, and it does have a 1-year payback on the project.
Thank you. All right. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I move to follow staff's recommendation for approval of this item, please.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Whose turn? Yes, your turn. It doesn't matter. Take it. There you go. Go for it. Opposed, please. Motion carries. Great. Item 47 is approval of amendment number 1 to the funding agreement CL-RT-06023 between the City of Las Vegas and Nevada Division of State Lands for the Las Vegas Wash Recreational Trail and Infrastructure Improvements to decrease the project budget in the amount of $426,553 and extend the completion date to December 31st, 2011. This is in Ward 3. Mr.
Yes, Your
Farlow.
Honor. Thank you very much. Mr. Farlow, could we have Jorge come up, please? Go ahead, Todd, and ask Jorge the question, please.
I would like to make a comment first. And the comment is this. The trail system that this council has been working so hard for the last 20 years is beginning to come to fruition. It's beginning to fall into place. It is absolutely marvelous, absolutely marvelous. And if anyone hasn't been on these bike trails and that, you really should. I mean, because it's just super. The question I have on this is that the bike trail goes from Stewart to Washington, and we already have the land north along the wash. And my question was, couldn't this money be used to extend that trail north? But I understand that that's coming in at a future date, and we're up to snuff on that.
But each one of these sections or portions of the trail system, Todd, is you have to have the funding for that portion. This here is putting the money back in. Am I correct? We're putting back into that funding mechanism so it can go somewhere else.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is that correct?
Jorge Cervantes, Department of Public Works. What this is, Councilman, is an adjustment to this grant. We use several funding sources to create these trails, mainly Stippleman. This grant was specific to that segment. It can only be used for that segment.
Yeah.
And so this is to align the grant with what the bid was. Yeah. But there are additional segments that are being done through different funding sources.
Yeah.
And thank you. Again, that trail is absolutely marvelous, and this council over the years, what a wonderful job you've done on that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jorge. Your Honor, I move to follow staff's recommendation for approval of this item, please, with all conditions.
Okay, let's vote, please.
Yes.
Post? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we'll go on to item number 52, discussion and possible action to accept a tentative agreement of the Memorandum of Understanding offer made by the Las Vegas Police Protective Association, the LVPPA, regarding a new, extended, or modified collective bargaining agreement or similar agreement between the City of Las Vegas as local government employer and the LVPPA as employee organization, $450,000 continued reduction in the general fund costs. Ms. Fretwell and Mr. Tarwater.
Thanks, Mayor. This is a hearing that we're conducting in accordance with NRS 288.153, which requires the Chief Administrative Officer of the city, which would be me, to present to you the final outcome of our negotiations of working with the Las Vegas Police Protective Association, which is basically our marshal unit, both municipal court and detention and enforcement. Dan's going to go through the details with you, which I believe you can see on your screen at this point. But basically, this is a 2-year agreement. The compensation articles remain flat, meaning there's no COLAs or steps, longevity's flat, etc. It perpetuates and continues the concessions from last year. It also keeps the PERS split 50-50 as contemplated in state law. It's a 2-year agreement and generally hits nearly a $500,000 savings for a pretty small unit, around 70 employees in this group. So what I'd like to do is turn it over to Dan and let him run through where we are. And I know that there are also representatives. John Dean Harper is here from the LVPPA, and he may also want to make some comments at the conclusion of this presentation. So, Dan, I'll turn it over to you.
Right. Thank you, Betsy. Good morning, Mayor and Council. Dan Tarwater, Human Resources Director. Betsy really hit the high points, but before that, I'd like to also extend my thanks to Chris Collins, who's the president of the PPA, John Dean Harper, who is here, and I'd asked to come up in a few minutes and also make any comments that he'd like to make. He was our chief negotiator, along with the city's chief negotiator, which was Vince Zamora, who was also in the audience today, too. And then I'd finally like to thank their board, Alicia, Dave, Harry, Mike, and that group, because they came to the table and they sit with us and they've offered up what we consider just items that the city really needed to have this year and next year. And the way they went about it was just very professional, and we really appreciated that. Going back last year, this group came to the table first, and we felt gave the most first, and we recognized that. They kept their COLA down to zero. There was no step increases. The longevity was frozen, which was a zero increase. They gave up their uniforms. And we had 2 or 3 other items that were in the agreement that helped the city also. Going to this year, they maintained the same stance. Probably the biggest item is that 4% rollback in wages from last year to this year, and for them to offer that up going for 2 more years, I think is huge. The reason that this $500,000 total value doesn't seem as much as last year is because we didn't value that cost of living increase at $375. That would have made this about close to $1 million give, if you will. So before you have continuation from last year to this year. The 2 new items, one is the PERS split that will be effective in July, 1.375%, and for that unit it's about a $75,000 cost to those individuals. Those will be taken out of their paychecks, which is new. And then if we drop to the bottom, probably the most significant item, new employee, is the salary scale reduction by 14%. And with that recommendation, we will have had 3 of our major unions sacrifice those new employee benefits going forward. With this bargaining unit, a 14% decrease, with the LVCEA, a 12.5% decrease, and with our POA, a 28% decrease. These 3 unions have come to the table and I believe really helped our city going forward. With that, there is a e-vote, an electronic vote by their members as we speak. It started on May 16th and it will finish on May 23rd. So we believe that this agreement will be approved by their members, at least 75-25 from what we've been told. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions, and I'd also extend an offer for Mr. Harper to join me too.
Mr. Harper, would you like to be heard, please?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I wasn't prepared to make any type of speech. I believe Dan has laid it out pretty well. It is a tentative agreement. The vote is going on. To the best of our knowledge, our members were happy. They indicated that to the negotiating team, and we do expect that it will be passed. And once again, I think Dan has said it for us. As a union attorney, this is painful for me. We're giving up some of the new employees, but we also, as a union, believe it's the right thing to do. I mean, the city and our association has seemed to work pretty well together under these pretty trying times. So I'll answer any questions if you have them. Once again,
I just have a comment.
Yes, sir.
The city and this council appreciates your clients' performance and their dedication to the city, and I think they set an excellent example that during these very challenging times, we all have to work together in order to assure that we're able to provide the services to our constituents. And we can only do that when we retain our employees, and by doing this, you fit within that category of folks who, unless there's something terribly unforeseeable that would ever happen, will be city employees and valued employees and appreciated employees by both us and our constituents. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mayor, and I will pass that on to our members. Thank you.
Anybody else like to be heard?
Yes, Mr. Goodman.
Yes.
Please. Thank you. John, I want to echo what the mayor said. I'm personally just very, very happy about this. And, you know, this is a group of 70 employees. Is that right, Betsy? And I always ask, how many employees are in this unit versus that unit? Because we've got, this is our smallest bargaining unit. Is that right, Betsy?
Yes.
Okay. And we've got another bargaining unit, you know, which is hundreds and hundreds of people. And I don't care whether it's 70 or 700. These are employees, these are people, and I'm just very, very happy that, you know, for the city of Las Vegas and for them as well, the continued sacrifice, it's a shared sacrifice. I believe in that very much. I'm very, very pleased, Dan, about the new employee. I've been talking about the new employee for 3 years. That's our savings for the future. The salary scale is reduced by 14% for the new employee. Is that consistent with, did we interject the class and comp study? Is that how we came to that?
No, actually, in effect, what it does is it almost brings the PERS contribution back to a 50-50 split by lowering that salary. It's a similar concept to the agreement we had with the POA last year, and it's, in effect, it has that similar kind of impact.
Okay. Well, once again, I want to applaud your members, John. If I would have known you were on the other side of the bargaining table, I would have told Dan to bargain harder. I've known you a long time, John.
Right.
You're a man of your word. You're a man of integrity and honor. I know you care very much about the people you represent. So please pass it on to those folks how pleased this council is, because, like the mayor said, you're setting a tone for our other employee groups and our non-represented employees as well, that it's got to be a shared sacrifice, and your group's doing it. Thank you.
Once again, we thank you. I will pass it on to membership, and I will reiterate, it does pain me as a union attorney, but the times being what they are, this is the right thing to do.
Thank you.
Mr.
Councilwoman?
Pro Tem, I just wanted to add my respect to you and your group. Please convey that from all of us for what you've done. I know how hard it is. I know you are pained, and I'm sure that they are pained also. But each of us up here are pained too, and we just know we have to work together to get through this. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak? I'll go ahead and make a motion. But first of all, I remember a council meeting here a few months ago when one of our marshals got up and he didn't plead with us, but he made a comment in our citizen participation where he would give up $20,000 a year to save his job. And this is not quite $20,000 a year, but it's I believe that we've negotiated in that line, and we're here today, and I think it's fantastic. So thank you all for what you've done. My motion is to follow staff's recommendation of approving this new contract. You've heard the motion. Please cast your vote.
Did you get my yes down there? Did you do it? Good.
Please post.
Oh, pardon me.
Motion carries.
Good. Okay. 53 is discussion and possible action regarding an exclusive negotiating agreement between Large Properties, Inc. and the City of Las Vegas for the development of a neighborhood shopping center consisting of a grocery market, retail bank, and automotive retail use on approximately 4.94 acres of vacant commercial land located within the city-owned business park commonly known as the Las Vegas Enterprise Park, generally located at the southwest corner of West Lake Mead Boulevard and North Martin L. King Boulevard, and this is in Ward 5. Mr. Arndt.
Thank you. Good morning. Bill Arndt, Director, Economic and Urban Development. This item is part of our business development program where we develop business parks within the city. And as you know, we're developing the Las Vegas Enterprise Park. And this particular site location is just behind the McDonald's on the southwestern corner of Martin Luther King Boulevard and Lake Mead Boulevard. Behind the McDonald's, there's roughly a 10-acre site. And this project and this contract, which is a feasibility agreement, an E&A or an exclusive negotiating agreement, really sets forth the scope where our development partner, Large Properties, is going to pursue a new retail development. The scope is to investigate the feasibility of developing a neighborhood shopping center consisting of a grocery market, a retail bank, and an automotive retail use. We've set terms in this agreement for a purchase price of $1,183,525, and that is for a portion of the site. It's a little bit under half, 4.94 acres. Where we're at is really next steps. This is a 6-month agreement, so it allows Hank Gordon of Large Properties to pursue this retail development and make sure that we find the right stores and the right fit for the neighborhood. And in that respect, there's a great opportunity. As you know, my office in the city is very active in promoting retail development throughout the city through a lot of means, one of which is the ICSC, International Council of Shopping Centers, and that convention just happens to be this month. I would like to thank Councilman Barlow and his leadership in supporting the city's effort this year at ICSC. I'd also like to thank Julie Quisenberry, who's our retail specialist and our real estate specialist, who helps us lead our effort at ICSC. With that, I'd like to invite Hank Gordon of Large Properties up to the podium. Hank is working on discussions with a specific grocer, which is part of the Dollar General chain, which is a national chain, and has had substantial discussions. And so I'd like Hank to kind of walk you through and explain this opportunity with this particular market, Dollar General, and the brand, DG Market, and then also talk about the site and the plans for the real estate. And I know that Hank has a preliminary site plan that he'd like to share with you as well.
Good morning. Hank Gordon, 1770 North Buffalo Drive, Las Vegas 89128. We originally have entered into a exclusive negotiating agreement for a small portion of the property, which is the bank site, and in trying to entice the bank to come onto the property, which I believe was a great use for the property. They kept telling me, no, we really want to have a grocery market because everywhere we're expanding in the Las Vegas area, we want to be where there's a grocery market. So I wish I could roll back the times to 2006 where I would pick up a phone and have 6 grocery markets I could get there, but I unfortunately can't. On the positive side, there is a movement on the part of Dollar General to expand their operations in the Las Vegas area. Dollar General is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, has 9,300 stores in the United States in 35 states, and they are coming to Las Vegas. They've taken 2 of our former Rite Aid stores, and I'm not sure about all the other places they're planning to go, but we were able to get them on the real estate side of it to commit to come to the site that you're looking at here with a larger store than they normally have. They have about 200 of these 21,000 square foot stores, and the balance of their stores are smaller. Where I am in our negotiating stage with them right now is we've signed the letter of intent for a build-to-suit lease for them, and we should be getting back to they should be getting back to me from their real estate committee in the next couple of weeks. It's pretty quick. The site has been approved by the local real estate manager that handles Nevada and California, so I'm optimistic this time that we'll be able to get them. The automotive portion of it was another idea I've had because I believe that there is a need for a automotive, retail automotive, such as a Pep Boys, AutoZone, etc., in this trade area. We've just started pursuing them, and we'll do so at the ICSC convention, which starts this coming Sunday here in Las Vegas.
Very good. Any questions? Okay. Mr. Arndt, anything further?
I'd like to stress that this agreement isn't the final development agreement. It is an E&A, which really is a feasibility agreement. But because of Mr. Gordon's efforts and his relationships with the retail community, in particular this opportunity, we felt comfortable sharing the plan with you and showing the long-term vision. We will have to come back with a development agreement, so you'll see the final schedule, and it will invite the community to take a further look at the full development and look at timing and schedule and certainly employment opportunities as well. So this is really the first step, but a really good and a really big first step in making this happen. Staff recommends approval.
Very good. Thank you. Councilman Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And Bill, I want to thank you and your entire staff, and in particular Julie Quisenberry, for working with me very closely on a lot of the developments that are taking place in and around Ward 5, and more specifically with the Enterprise Park, with the close to 20 acres that's still available. We are moving forward to bring developments in to fill this entire park up. And Mayor and Council, as you know, we just broke ground on the health center that's taking place right at Stella Lake and Mount Moriah, as well as later this year, we'll be breaking ground on Fire Station 106. And now having the opportunity of working closely with Mr. Hank Gordon and him bringing forward this retail component into the park is something that the community has been waiting for for a number of years now. And so, Mr. Gordon, I want to thank you for staying at it and continuing to look at this corner and continue to bring national commercial tenants to this area, to this market, because I believe, just as you do, that there's a market for not only retail, but the automotive and most definitely food. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of this conversation within the next couple of weeks with your potential tenant, and work very closely to see how we can bring all of this online to roll it out into the community so that we can get this project underway to fill up the entire park. So with that, I will, of course, see you this week at the ICSC convention to meet with additional tenants as well, and look forward to working with you. So with that being said, I would like to move to follow staff's recommendation of approval subject to all conditions on this item.
Yes. All right, please vote. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we're going on to item 55, which is Bill number 2011-21, levies assessment for Special Improvement District number 1485, Alta Drive, from Rancho Drive to approximately 275 feet west of Lacey Lane. And Councilor Barlow, do you wish to have the bill read?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Your Honor. Bill number 2011-21, an ordinance concerning Special Improvement District number 1485, Alta Drive Landscape Maintenance, FY 2012, providing for the payment of the cost expense of maintaining street beautification improvements, as assessed the cost of the maintenance against the accessible lots, tracts, and parcels of land benefited by said maintenance, ratifying, approving, and confirming all action previously taken, and prescribing details in connection with.
Very good. Is there a motion, please?
Move for approval.
All right, let's vote, please. Yes. Yes. There you go. Opposed? There you go. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 56 is Bill number 2011-22, levies assessment for Special Improvement District number 1516, Fremont Street Maintenance District from Las Vegas Boulevard to 8th Street. Councilor Barlow, do you wish to have it read?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bill number 2011-22, an ordinance concerning City of Las Vegas, Nevada, Special Improvement District number 1516, Fremont Street Maintenance District, Las Vegas Boulevard to 8th Street, providing for the payment of the cost and expenses of the commercial area revitalization project, assessing the cost of the project as the accessible lots, tracts, parcels of land benefited by said improvements, ratifying, approving, and confirming all action previously taken, and prescribing details in connection therewith.
And Councilor Barlow, do you have a motion, please?
On behalf of Councilman Barlow, with his permission. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I jump in your way?
Did you give him our spot?
I thought she did the last one.
She did the last one.
This lady did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once again, on behalf of Councilman Barlow, with his permission, I'd like Cameron to make the motion. You're going to say, I'm in that microphone. Bring it up to you. I move for approval.
I move for approval.
Excellent job.
All right, let's vote on that, please.
Yes.
Opposed?
It's okay.
We voted? We voted, didn't we? Okay. Yeah.
We want to be different.
Motion carries. All right.
Thanks, man.
Item 57 is Bill number 2011-23, updates the land use and rural neighborhoods preservation element of the Las Vegas 220 Master Plan to be consistent with the city's new Unified Development Code. Councilor Barlow, do you wish to have it read?
Beverly? That's voting yes.
Would you like to make a motion?
Well, you have to say yes. Yes, Mayor.
Yes, Mayor.
All right.
Thank you.
Have it read, please.
This is Bill 2011-23, in order to update the land use and rural neighborhoods preservation element of the Las Vegas 2020 Master Plan to be consistent with the city's new Unified Development Code and provide for other related matters.
All right. And may I have a motion, please?
Move to approve.
All right. Let's vote, please.
Yes. However you want, but just go ahead.
Opposed?
We will come with it.
Motion carries. Well, I have to say this. I think that the youngsters did a little better than my colleagues under the circumstance. They went flawlessly, which was excellent. Okay, items 58 and 59, which are bills 2011-24 and 2011-25, are eligible for adoption at a later meeting. And at this time, we're going to recess the City Council meeting until 1 p.m. That's 1 p.m. And thank you very much for joining us here today.
Remember, you're on TV, Jada. Nice to meet you.
See you later. See, I have to go make a speech.
2 weeks.
I'll see you later. I have to make a speech. I'll see you. Mayor Pro Tem, I'm leaving, and hopefully I'll be back at 1. Yeah, good. It should be very fast. Yeah, good. I'm going to get my phone. I'm coming back, yes. You driving me? Okay. Yeah.
I'll show you what I mean later.
Good afternoon, everybody. We'll call the afternoon agenda. We'll start with item number 61. Any items from the afternoon session that the council, staff, and/or the applicant wish to be stricken or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have item number 67 as a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover cost of abatement at 6674 East Oakey Boulevard. Property owner Drew A. Hicks. They would like that to be held in advance until our June 1st, 2011 meeting. Are there any other items at this time?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
I would like to hold item number 81 in abeyance for 30 days.
Item 81. For 30 days?
Yes, sir.
That would be June 15th. Site development plan review related to, it's a site development review 40998, related to rezoning 40999, public hearing, applicant owner Wah Cheng Chun Chin, request for site development plan review for a parking lot with waivers to allow no perimeter landscape buffer on the west property perimeter where 8 feet is required and a 5-foot perimeter landscape buffer along the north and east perimeter where 15 feet is required. This is on Owens Avenue and N Street in Councilman Barlow's ward, and would like Councilman like that to be held in advance until our June 15th meeting. It's companion item with number 80, Rick?
I'm going to hear item 80 today.
Are there any other items? So on item 81 and item 67, I move to follow staff's recommendations and Ricky's request.
Very good. Let's vote on that, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. 62 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 125 Sam Jonas Drive in the amount of $4,209.35 and assess a maximum $43,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Chan Kwai Young, and this is in Ward 2. It's a public hearing which is now open. Mr. Smith?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and backgrounds of the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to remove all trash, litter, and debris from the property, to include a non-permitted shed in the side yard, above-ground pool, lawn furniture, and cut branches, cut and remove all high dead vegetation, and apply an herbicide, and remove junk abandoned truck. To date, there have been 10 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $74,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $989 invoice for American Demolition, in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $4,209.35, and consider assessing a maximum of $43,050 in daily civil penalties.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Douglas Gerard. I'm at the law firm of Gerard, Cox & Larson, and I'm here to represent the current property owner, Yong Kwai Chan. Mr. Chan is not the property owner at the time that the nuisance arose. He purchased the property after it was taken back by Fannie Mae through a foreclosure. He purchased the property approximately 3 months ago and is maintaining the property very well. I think the staff has been by since then, and they've seen that the new property owner obviously is caring for the property. The former property owner, Ronald Freud, lost the property through a foreclosure that occurred in September of last year, shortly after the City of Las Vegas abated the nuisance. And my client would like to have the City Council consider waiving the penalties, since the purpose of the penalties under the statute is to penalize the person who is not maintaining the property under the city's code, and my client is not that person. He's happy to pay the cost of the inspection, the cost of the abatement, but what he's asking, since he's not the person that created this problem, is that the penalty portion be waived. So our request is that the remediation cost of $989, the reinspection fees of $1,122, and the administrative fee of $148.35 be paid by my client. Doesn't want to pay it, but will pay that, and that the remaining penalties be waived.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions of either of the gentlemen? Folks, a public hearing, if anybody would like to be heard. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing then. Councilman Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Mr. Gerard, thanks for coming. Thanks for meeting with me and Mr. Smith ahead of time. Are your clients here by any chance?
No, they're not.
Okay.
It's a single man. I checked after I talked to you.
Yeah.
it's a single individual who purchased the property, but he's not here today.
Okay, and what I'd like this council to recognize is that the city received the complaint regarding the nuisance in April of 2010. The city went through its notice processes and finally abated the property, cleaned it up September of 10, and the new owner took ownership in February of 11.
February 15th.
So your client was not in the property before February of this year, had nothing to do with the nuisance, and really is at no fault whatsoever. Here's what I'd like to do. Because of the unique nature in that your client just bought the property for $74,000 or $79,000?
$72,900.
$72,000. This is a nice neighborhood. You gave me some assurances, Doug, that your client's going to keep this property in good shape.
That's correct.
What I'd like to do is make a motion to recover the $989 for the remediation costs, the $148.35 for the administration fees, $1,122 for the reinspection fees. I believe that totals $2,259.35 to not require the civil penalties or the additional civil penalties, the $43,000. So my motion would be to approve $2,259.35.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Item 63 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 832 North 24th Street in the amount of $6,433.25 and assess a maximum of $44,550 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Maribel Zavala, and this is in Ward 3. It's a public hearing, which is now open. Yes, sir.
Good, Mayor and Council. Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started a legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to remove all trash, debris, high-end dead vegetation in all yards and sidewalk area, apply an herbicide, remove shed, and post no trespassing signs. To date, there have been 14 inspections conducted at this location. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $495 invoice for American Demolition, in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $6,433.25, and consider assessing a maximum of $44,550 in daily civil penalties.
All right. Any questions of Mr. Smith? Public hearing, folks, if anyone would like to be heard on this.
Thank you. Todd Farley, 240 North 19th Street. Do we know that this Maribel Valel, whatever, however you spell it, is the actual owner, or if a bank owns it?
We know that it's in the foreclosure process, but we have no indication yet of which bank it is that's foreclosing on the property.
Well, my thing is that we need to go after the banks.
Right. Anybody else? Then we'll close the public hearing. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Your Honor. I make a motion to put a lien on property for the $6,433.25 and also assess the maximum of $44,550 in daily civil penalties at this time.
All right, that's the motion. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 64 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 1304 Euclid Avenue in the amount of $3,985.15 and assess a maximum of $47,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Richard R. Medrin. This is in Ward 3. It's a public hearing, which I now declare open. Mr. Smith.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is that the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started a legal notification. When no corrective action was taken or an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to board all open doors and windows, remove all trash, debris, high grass, weeds, and dead vegetation, graffiti in a shed, Christmas lights, and a dilapidated fence in the front and rear yard. To date, there have been 7 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value on the property based on Zillow.com is $51,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,401 invoice for American Demolition in addition to other fees assessed, for a total of $3,985.15, and consider assessing a maximum of $47,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Smith? Is there a representative of Richard R. Medrin here? All right, folks, public hearing, if you'd like to be heard. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would move to follow staff's recommendation for the $3,985.15 and assess a maximum of $47,050 in daily civil penalties. And I got one question, Devin. Now, do we go around periodically and check these houses once they're boarded up?
We do.
Okay.
And if a lot of times the officer will just check them when they're in the area unless we get another complaint that somebody's reopened a property or tore one of the boards off or there's conditions starting to arise there again.
Well, I appreciate what the work you do. That would be my motion, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. 65 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of a nuisance located at 1021 F Street in the amount of $2,251 and assess a maximum of $46,550 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Michael P. Watson, and this is in Ward 5. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background to the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. Where no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired Blast Janitorial Service to board all open doors and windows and remove all trash, debris, and discarded items. To date, there have been 7 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value on the property based on Zillow.com is $55,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $500 invoice for Blast Janitorial Services in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $2,251 and consider assessing a maximum of $46,550 in daily civil penalties.
Any questions of Mr. Smith? Anybody here on behalf of Michael P. Watson? Anybody who'd like to speak on this at the public hearing? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed, and this is Councilman Barlow's word.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. And thank you, Devin, for this update. I'm going to move to follow staff's recommendation for the invoice of $500 for Blast Janitorial Services, as well as the $2,251 assessing the maximum of $46,550 in daily civil penalties. That would be my motion.
All right, thank you. Let's vote on that motion, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. 66 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 1633 K Street in the amount of $2,998.50 and assess a maximum of $45,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Vera Johnson. This is in Ward 5. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to board all open doors and windows, remove all trash, debris, sheds, and high grass and weeds. To date, there have been 8 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $60,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $1,150 invoice for American Demolition in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $2,998.50 and consider assessing a maximum of $45,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Any questions? Is the property owner here or a representative, Vera Johnson? All right. Would anyone like to be heard on this issue? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And Councilor Barlow.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to move that the council approve the expenses to include $1,150 for the invoice for American Demolition, as well as the $2,998.50 assessment and the $45,050 in daily civil penalty fees. That will be my motion.
Okay, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll skip over to 68, a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at 224 Antelope Way in the amount of $4,322 and assess a maximum of $58,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is Bank U.S. National Association Trustees. This is in Ward 1. It's a public hearing which is now open.
Again, Mayor and Council, Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started a legal notification. When no corrective action was taken nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired American Demolition to remove all trash and debris, remove all high weeds and grass, and apply an herbicide. To date, there have been 9 inspections conducted at this location. The estimated value of the property based on Zillow.com is $101,000. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $480 invoice for American Demolition in addition to other fees for a total of $4,322 and consider assessing a maximum of $58,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Smith? Anybody here from the bank? All right, public hearing, if anybody would like to be heard.
Thank you. Todd Farley, 240 North 19th Street. As I think that we're all aware, in the last few months we have found out that the banks didn't even try to work out any of these loan modification things. That to me is just inhuman. And I hope that you have no mercy on these banks at all. No mercy at all.
Thank you. Anybody else like to be heard? All right.
I wanted to get Todd a job, watering the grass and mowing it. But he didn't want to take the job.
We're closing the public hearing. Councilwoman.
This property is now owned by the bank, right?
Yes,
So all notifications now go to the bank and not to the granddaughter?
that is
Who
correct.
has no parents. Okay. I move, and that's interesting, I was out at that property recently. You did a good job cleaning it up because it was in bad shape. But I move that the expenses in the amount of $4,322 and the daily civil penalties of $58,050 be approved.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 69 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located at Bonanza Road and 13th Street in the amount of $3,190.50 and assess a maximum of $29,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is 513 North 13, LLC, care of M. Demich. And this is in Ward 5. It's a public hearing which is open.
Your Honor, just for the record, the next 3 cases are actually 3 different parcels of property.
Yes.
But they are owned by the same person. We had to do an abatement all 3. So as I go into this, it may seem repetitive.
Okay, then I'll read the other 2 with Councilman Barlow's permission. We'll consider all 3 at once. Okay? Good. 70 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs for abatement of nuisance located Bonanza Road and 13th Street in the amount of $4,164.50 and assess a maximum of $31,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is 513 North 13 LLC, care of M. Demich in Ward 5. 71 is a public hearing and possible action to consider the report of expenses to recover costs of abatement of nuisance located at Bonanza Road and 13th Street in the amount of $4,135.75 and assess a maximum of $34,050 in daily civil penalties. The property owner is 513 North 13 LLC, care of M. Demich in Ward 5. These are all public hearings, which I declare open at this time.
Give Mayor and Council Devin Smith, Neighborhood Response Manager. The purpose and background is the condition of the property was a public hazard and an attractive nuisance. The Department of Building and Safety declared the property in violation and started a legal notification. When no corrective action was taken, nor an appeal filed, the Department of Building and Safety hired Weaver Construction to remove all trash, debris, graffiti, dead vegetation, high weeds, and grass from vacant lot. To date, there have been 9 inspections conducted at this location. The recommendation is that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $710 invoice for Weaver Construction, in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $3,190.50, and consider assessing a maximum of $29,050 in daily civil penalties. And just for the record, that was lot number 002. On lot 003, the abatement...
Yeah, what you might want to do is you might want to put the APN number 139-35-111.
002. That's the first one that I just read.
Right.
APN 003, the abatement was done by American Demolition. The recommendation on that, the City Council would approve the report of expenses to include the $900 invoice for American Demolition and other fees assessed for a total of $4,164.50, and consider assessing a maximum of $31,050 in daily civil penalties. And on APN 004, the recommendation would be that the City Council approve the report of expenses to include a $925 invoice for Weaver Construction, in addition to other fees assessed for a total of $4,135.75, and consider assessing a maximum of $34,050 in daily civil penalties.
Thank you. Any questions to Mr. Smith? Anybody here on behalf of the 513 North 13th Group? Are you here on their behalf, Mr. Farlow? Oh, I didn't think so. Okay, it's a public hearing. If anyone would like to, are you here on their behalf?
Yes.
Then why don't you step up here and give us your name, please, if you'd like to be heard.
Liz Thompson, Desert Realty, representing the owner of the property.
Okay.
My client has sent me all of the forms and all of the correction notices. He says he never got the first one. I don't know if he did or not. I'm here to ask you if you can settle for the amount of $2972.75.
What item are you here on?
This is the
Which one?
This is the one you're talking about, 513 North 13th.
Yes. Which particular parcel, though?
All three.
Oh, all three? And you're suggesting that we do what?
I explained to him this morning that he needed to cut a check to the city and pay what's owed. He has cut a check. I have the copy here. He is sending it. And I'm wondering if the amount of $29.72.75 will suffice
29.
to clear this up.
Wait a second. 29.
72.75.
75. I can't speak for Councilman Barlow, but Councilman Barlow, does $2,900 clear this up?
Actually, I would like to hear from Devin as far as what's all outstanding at this point.
Well, the hard costs that we would assess on APN number 002 with staff time, failed inspection fees, civil penalties, not including daily civil penalties, on that particular property, we would be asking for $3,190.50. And then the daily civil penalties would be at the council's discretion.
Is that the $29,000 as far as the maximum daily penalties?
Correct.
Okay.
On APN 003, we would ask for the $4,164.50.
4,000. I'm trying to just keep up because I have to toggle.
Right, $4,164.50.
Okay. And
then on APN 004,
what are the daily civil penalties?
And the civil penalties you could assess on that one is $31,050.
$31,000. Okay. And what's the next
And then
one?
on the APN 004, we would ask for the $4,135.75.
$4,134.
And you could assess a maximum of $34,050 in daily civil penalties on that.
$34,050.
Yes. And just for the record, I have confirmation on all three of these cases that they did accept the certified letter that went to their mailing address to notify them of the condition of the properties.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have anything further you'd like to say?
Yeah.
This offer that he made was just to cover the actual expenses of the demo.
I understand what you're saying. It's going to be up to the councilman to make a motion.
Please understand that this property is in foreclosure, and he's about ready to lose it. So he can either add it to his BK and just lose it, or try to pay this amount. But that's all he can do.
Okay, and your check is for $2,972.
$2,972.75.
That doesn't even make up daily civil penalties.
And just for the record, the actuals are $11,490.75.
Well, as far as the city's hard costs, 7, 10, you're looking at about $11,000 in the city's hard costs. And I'm just looking at it roughly, but we're right at $11,000. So that's not,
Councilman?
I don't have an appetite for that.
Councilman, it's $11,490.75.
Okay. What was it, 11,000?
490.
$490.75.
$490.75.
Right.
Yeah, we most definitely need to get the city's hard costs back. So I have no appetite for $2,900.
Okay.
So that is not feasible for me right now.
Okay. Would you like to say anything else?
No, I'll just have to advise him that he's just going to have to go ahead with his BK, I guess.
Okay. All right. We appreciate that.
Okay? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Councilman.
Thank you for coming down. Anybody else like to be heard? Public hearing.
Thank you, Todd Farlow. At one time, there was a house on this thing that had the doors ripped off and the people living in it. Was that torn down by the city or the owner?
I would have to do some research on that, too. I don't believe that the city tore it down, but
Well, then the owner must have done it, and if he did, I mean, that would have been a service to us, you know, I mean, to some extent.
Anybody else like to be heard on this? All right, seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Councilor Barlow?
Okay, Mayor, are we taking these in one vote, or are we taking these individually?
You could do it either one. That's your
Council.
pleasure.
I think I want to.
No, I think
I
each
wanna do it
individually, since we have separate parcels.
Yeah, I want to do it individually, being that we have separate parcels. And ma'am, I appreciate you coming down and offering the settlement amount. However, the city's hard cost is something that we can't afford to give up, specifically as it relates to taxpayers' dollars that have gone out to remedy the issue at these locations. So I'm going at this time to, what I will do is, Devin, for item number 69, I'm going to move that $3,190.50 be returned to the general fund. And as a gesture, I will do 10% of the 29,000 daily civil penalties. And that would be my motion for item number 69.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries.
And for item number 70, a motion will be to receive the $4,164.50 for the general fund, be returned to the general fund, and I'm going to assess 10% of the daily civil penalties, 10% of the $31,050. That's my motion.
All right, let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries.
And item number 71, I want returned to the general fund $4,135.75, and I'm going to assess 10% of $34,050 in daily civil penalty fees. That would be my motion.
Okay, please vote. Post. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, and Devin, if you will, you can explain to the young lady as far as my motion, as far as the 10%.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 72 is on the consent agenda and is considered to be routine and is recommended for approval by the Planning Department. May I have a motion, please, to approve agenda item 72?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor, I move to follow staff's recommendation to approve this item with all conditions, please.
Thanks. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, now I see we have some visitors. Fellas, come on up here. Just go right to those mics and tell us who you are and why you're here.
I'm Cameron Reese, and I'm here for my communications merit badge.
How do you spell your last name?
R-E-E-S-E.
That's something. Who's your dad?
Lee Reese.
Don't know him.
Okay, because we had somebody who was related to the Mayor Pro Tem here today, and I thought we'd had two in a row here.
What's your grandpa's name?
Mike Reese.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No relation. I got to disclose that. No relation.
Are you well?
He's a fine-looking young man.
I was going to say I'd like to be
him.
related to him. To be honest with you,
I wish he was my grandson.
He looks like a good boy. How old are you?
I'm 13.
Okay, and why are you here today?
To get my communications merit badge.
Very good. How long do you have to stay?
I think we have to leave in like an hour because I have a dentist appointment.
Okay, well that's much more important than anything we're going to be doing this afternoon. And how about what's your name?
I'm Isaac Martin. I'm here for the Communications Merit Badge too.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 12.
Very good. Well, it's great to have you two guys here, and if you'd like, whose mom is with you?
My mom.
Okay, well, if your mom wants to take you up to my office on the 10th floor before you go to have your teeth drilled, she's more than welcome to do that, okay?
Okay.
Mayor,
Very
can
good.
I add
Yes.
something? Boys, this also will suffice for your citizenship and the community merit badge if you haven't already earned that as well. So, Mom, take a look at that for these young men.
Good. Good having you here.
Mrs. Reese, it was nice meeting you.
Okay. That's it, fellas. Have a seat. There you go. Okay, 73 is EOT 41219, extension of time, non-conforming use, a public hearing. The applicant owner is Fremont Properties, LLC, requests for a extension of time of a non-conforming use for a tavern at 1930 Fremont Street in Ward 3. The staff recommends denial. It's a public hearing which is now open. Ms. Stewart?
Good afternoon. Lucy Stewart, 3900 Meadows Lane, and with me are John and Sophie Wilson, the owners of the property.
Excuse me a second here, Mayor. My book doesn't have item 73 in it.
I have two of them.
Oh.
This never did happen when Vicki was here. Continue, please.
Okay.
Thank you. The property in question is on East Fremont, and it's had a tavern there for, I believe, like since 1951.
Lucy, you don't have to go through all that stuff.
Okay. Okay, you want me to go through any of it?
No.
Okay.
I met with the applicant, Your Honor. What they have is the old Odyssey Bar down on East Fremont Street. Has been sitting vacant, and they're trying to get somebody to come in there and redo it and add to Fremont Street. And I certainly support that. I met with them on Monday. I support what they're trying to do. And I don't feel like giving them, I don't think it would put any hardships on the council that will be here when they come back if they find an applicant. So the applicant would have to come back and go before this board also. So all we're doing is giving them an extension of time, allowing them to negotiate and find somebody to come in here and open up a business down there. And I certainly support that.
Okay, and all I can say is it would be great if that was the anchor between what we now have growing in the East Fremont Street area all the way down to a little past 7th and keep it going all the way down there. Then we're going to have a real downtown. So I wish you well.
And I think they'd like that too.
Good. Okay. So
it is a public hearing.
It is a public hearing, folks, if anyone would like to be heard. Young Reese, you want to be heard? All right. Okay, then we'll close the public hearing.
Your Honor, I'm going to go against staff's recommendation for denial. I understand why they recommended denial. We do have a new school on the corner of Bruce and Eastern, but I don't think if we get a good tenant in there, I don't think it would harm the school at all. So I'm going to make a motion for approval of this extension of time, please.
Very good. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
74, 75, and 76. 74 is GPA 40839, request to amend the general plan from PF, which is Public Facilities, to GC, General Commercial. 75 is SUP 41115, request for special use permit for proposed auto repair garage major. Number 76 is SDR 41114, request for a major amendment to a previously approved site development plan review for a proposed auto repair garage major within an existing 4,800 square foot building. The applicant is Drive Time Car Sales Company, LLC, and the owner is Linda Lee Ward, Revocable Living Trust. The project is located on 1.8 acres at 2301 McLeod Street. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval of all three items. These items are in Ward 3 and are public hearings which are now declared open. You representing the applicant, folks? Okay.
Yes.
Please identify yourselves.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. My name is Darren Dorsey from the law firm of Snell and Wilmer. I have with me Randy Barnes of RBA Architects, who's the architect for the project as well. The pending applications are for the garage and repair facility for an already approved drive-time dealership that will be opening on East Sahara. It's a self-contained auto repair facility, and what we mean by that is it's only for pre-inventory work. It's not a fully operational retail auto body where people would come in for periodic car service and things like that. It's only to service the vehicles, put them on the lot so that they can be sold. We're seeking the general plan amendment and accompanying special use permits, and we've appreciated the prior approvals and appreciated work with staff on this and move for approval with the subject conditions.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the gentleman? Folks, public hearing, if you'd like to be heard.
Thank you, Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street, and I'd like to see some nice landscaping in here.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else like to be heard? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. This is Mayor Pro Tem's.
Yes, Your Honor. If we go the overhead, can we go back to the overhead, please? We lost the overhead. On the west side, we can see that fencing that they have covered with the green shade. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is a public hearing, Your Honor.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, it's a public hearing, folks, if anyone would like to be heard, other than Mr. Farlow. All right, then we'll close the public hearing.
On the GPA, Your Honor, I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation for approval of this item, as well as planning commission.
Okay, let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries.
And for the special use permit, I make a motion for approval following planning commission staff's recommendations.
Thank you. Let's vote. Opposed?
And
motion carries.
On the site development review, I want to add a couple conditions. I know they have a condition existing to put landscaping on the north side, as well as some landscaping on the west side. I would like to add a condition that they put a block wall following, what is allowed. We have chain link fencing around the north side as well as along the west side. And I'd like to have a block wall put up on both sides with the landscaping. And I would also like the sidewalk on the McLeod side repaired all the way from Sahara clear down to the next street. I think that is a condition already, wasn't it, Flynn?
We don't have the language relative to the sidewalk, so we would need to add that language in addition to the language relative to providing the wall on the north and west
I went
property
over
lines.
there on Monday, looked at the property. The sidewalk is in very bad disrepair, as well as we had along the residence in the back, we had the chain link fence with razor wire across there. I want that removed, as well as putting the block wall up and putting some landscaping, some trees in front of that, and also put a block wall up on McLeod Street with some landscaping along McLeod. There was some landscaping along there. I don't know how much trouble you're going to have because you've got look like some elm trees have been cut off right at the ground level, and so it's going to be kind of hard to go in there and dig them out and put in some landscaping. So good luck. But just work with staff on the landscaping as well as the fencing.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Mayor Pro Tem, I
Yes,
stand
please.
corrected on the sidewalk condition. Actually, condition number 16 does address the sidewalk.
Yes, that's what I thought. So yeah.
I just want to make sure, this gentleman, I just think this gentleman's the lessee of the property. I want to make sure he has the authority from the actual property owner to be able to make those changes that you requested.
We work pretty close together.
Oh, okay.
And I think they do have that authority.
Okay, thank you.
And we do, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, City Attorney.
So you agree with those conditions?
We do, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you working with us on this.
You bet. With those corrections, On item 76, Your Honor, I make a motion for approval.
All right, let's vote, please. Post? Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck, fellas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, 77 and 78 and 79. 77 is ZON 40490, request for rezoning from R4 high-density residential to PR professional office and parking. 78 is VAR 40491, request for variance to allow 3 parking spaces where 6 are required on .14 acres at 528 East Oakey Boulevard. 79 is SDR 40492, request for site development plan review for the conversion of a 1,632 square foot residential duplex to an office other than that listed, with waivers to allow no perimeter landscape buffers along the north and east perimeters where 15 feet is required, and along the south and west perimeters where 8 feet is required on .14 acres at 528 East Oakey Boulevard. The applicant owner is Mary Bartzis 19 LLC. The project is located on .14 acres at 528 East Oakey Boulevard. The Planning Commission recommends approval of all 3 items, and staff recommends approval of item 77 and denial of items 78 and 79. These items are in Ward 3. They're public hearings, which I now declare open. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Arnold Stock, 2701 Alta Drive, representing the owner. This is a case where this site was inhabited and owned by Mary Bartzis, who passed away a few years ago, and I'm acting as development consultant for their trust and going through the properties. Want to bring all the properties up to a code standard. And this particular property is going from what's existing R4 to PR professional office, which is consistent with the uses next door, and we plan on painting the property, fixing it up, and landscaping it.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Mr. Stock?
Yeah, on item 78, how come we only have 3 parking spaces?
The question was, why are there 3 parking spaces?
Yeah, why isn't there 6?
I'm sorry?
Why isn't there 6?
Well, we can't fit 6 in there.
That's why you need the variance, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That is.
Okay.
Okay. Public hearing, folks?
Thank you. Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. At the Planning Commission, Commissioner Quinn was wondering about the handicap parking. Could we address that, please? Has that been addressed?
Yes, that item has been
very
addressed.
Anybody else? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing then. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Mr. Flagg, what kind of perimeter landscaping are we going to have on this site?
Of landscaping are we going to have? If I could have Mr. Stock address that, you'll see that there is some landscaping on the north side of the property that will be provided, some minor landscaping up against the side of the building on the east side. And Mr. Stock, if I've missed anything.
We're going to put 2 new trees in the front of the property and really step up the landscaping because it's pretty barren right now.
I would like to see as much landscaping as we can put in there. We spend a lot of money going in there and redoing St. Louis Avenue, and I think that even over on Oakey, we need to do everything we can, to continue doing what we've been doing in there as far as upgrading the landscaping and stuff for this drought-tolerant type landscaping.
Okay, we definitely want to do that.
I would move to follow staff recommendation, Your Honor, for approval as well as the Planning Commission's on item number 77, please.
All right, please vote on that. Post. Motion carries.
And item 78, we understand why staff recommended denial. I'm going to go ahead and follow Planning Commission recommendation for approval of this item with all conditions, please.
All right, let's vote. Post. Motion carries.
And on item 79, Your Honor, we understand the staff's recommendation for denial of this item. Again, I'm going to follow Planning Commission recommendation for approval of this, but I would like the applicant to work with our staff on the landscaping. I think we need to have as much landscaping as we can get on this property.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
If I may, on this item. We had the City Attorney's Office had the opportunity to review the cross-access agreement that exists on item number 79. There are a couple changes that need to be made on that before it's recorded. One is that both parcel APN numbers should be at the top left corner of the document in keeping with Clark County Recorder requirements. And also in paragraph B of that document, it should read parcel B and not parcel A, as parcel A is already referenced in paragraph 1 of that of that agreement. So I think Mr. Stock has those corrections, and he'll make those prior to the being recorded.
I would add that in my motion, that those corrections.
All right, that's what 79, correct?
Yes.
All right, let's vote.
Thanks, Brian.
Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. 80 and 81. 80 is ZON 40999, request for rezoning from RE Residence Estates to C1 Limited Commercial. 81 is SDR 40998, request for a site development plan review for a parking lot with waivers to allow no perimeter landscape buffer along the west perimeter where 8 feet is required and 5-foot perimeter landscape buffer along the north and east perimeters where 15 feet is required. The applicant owner is Wei Chu Jin. The subject is located on 1.44 acres at the southwest corner of Owens Avenue and N Street. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval of item 80 and denial of item 80. Oh, 81, we're not handling that, correct?
Correct.
Right, so it's just 80. These items are in Ward 5 and are public hearings, which I now declare open. So we're just considering number 80, which is ZON 40999, request for rezoning from RE to C1. This is a public hearing, which is now declared open.
Mayor?
Yes.
Just on the zoning, and Mrs. Jen, thank you for coming down. On the zoning, there's no issue with the zoning, so I'm going to move for approval, subject to all conditions on the zoning. And item number 81 has been obeyed at the beginning of this meeting today for 30 days. And that will give me an opportunity to work with staff as well as the applicant in regards to a feasible outcome as far as what we would like to see on the site from a site development plan review standpoint. So that would be my motion at this time.
All right, thank you. Let's vote, please.
Excuse me, this has been noticed as a public hearing. We just need to.
Pardon me?
This has been noticed as a public hearing. Did we already open and close the?
I thought I did. I think I did, but I'll
Sorry.
do it again.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Would anyone like to be heard of the public hearing aspect of this? All right, seeing none, we'll close it again. But thank you for keeping me honest. Okay. All right, there's been a motion. Let's vote, please. Oh, we voted. Post, please. We're in good shape. All right, motion carries. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Pat's foot is all swollen, that's why I couldn't come.
Okay. Tell him we say hi, okay? Thank you. 82 is VAR 40797, a variance, public hearing. The applicant owner is Margarita Ojeda. Request for variance to allow a 6-foot corner side yard setback where 15 feet is required for proposed accessory structure Class 2 and to allow 3 accessory structures with a total building area of 1,048 square feet, where 1,011 square feet is the maximum allowed, on 0.45 acres at 5313 Patricia Avenue in Ward 6. The staff recommends denial. The Planning Commission recommends approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing, which is now open. Yes, folks? Would you identify yourselves, please?
Hi, this is Margarita.
Okay.
Christopher Gajan. I come here to represent her in case she needs translation.
No problem. I'll be happy to hear from you folks. Would you like to talk to us? No? No?
No.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions of these folks? All right. Ma'am, it's a public hearing. Did you want to be heard?
Glenda Torres, 5304 Patricia Avenue, and I support their variance
All right, thank
and their
you.
project.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard? The Boy Scouts are going to talk on this? Yep. Don't let him teach you anything. I don't want to have more Farlows around here, please. It's been enough with one.
Cameron Reese, 02. Oh.
I don't know how to spell that last.
When I think about something too hard, like I forget it.
And your question.
Just say Las Vegas.
Are the neighbors okay with this?
Are the neighbors okay with this?
Yeah, apparently at least one neighbor is.
Okay.
Okay? How about your partner there? No, he wants no part of this hearing. I don't blame you, I'll tell you. You're the smart guy. Okay, anybody else? All right, we'll close the public hearing then. Councilman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. And young Mr. Reese, the neighbors are okay with this, and Mrs. Torres, I appreciate you coming down to support your neighbors. I will read, I did have a couple of oppositions to this, and I want to make that known for the record, but I also want to read a letter from the president of the Northwest Area Residents Association. I'll just read a small portion of it. On April 19th, Margarita Ojeda attended our monthly NARA meeting in compliance with Commissioner Moody's request for community assessment. Prior to the meeting, Executive Board members, again, meaning they did this more than once, drove by the residence to establish an objective visual profile of the property at issue. After presenting her request to the Executive Board, they unanimously voted to support the variance. The decision was reinforced by review of the videotape of the April 12th Planning Commission meeting by the two NARA Executive Board members, showing testimony from her neighbors, Ms. Torres, who applauded Margarita's obvious pride in ownership from other recent improvements, and how the property stands out above most other immediate homes. It was also noted that the owner had made corrections on previous permit deficiencies to be in compliance with the city building standards. NARA is pleased to support Margarita Ojeda's application for variance 40797 in her efforts to enhance the utility, appearance, and property value of her home, and as a secondary gain, improve the profile of her immediate neighborhood and our rural preservation community at large. So whatever you're doing over there, you're doing the right thing. Commissioner Moody is very consistent in regards to any applicants reaching out to the neighbors to find out if they're okay, as am I. So we've been consistent with that here in Ward 6 for the past several years, and that will not change. With that, Your Honor, I would move to follow Planning Commission's recommendation for approval of Agenda Item 82.
Very good. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you folks.
Thank you.
83 is SUP 40837, special use permit, a public hearing. The applicant is G&N LLC. The owner is Dario Pini. Request for special use permit for proposed 8,763 square foot tavern limited establishment at 707 Fremont Street. This is Ward 5. Planning Commission and staff both recommend approval, subject to conditions. It's a public hearing which is now open. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Ben Volmer, Colsarn Latham, 400 South Rampart, Suite 400. Here on behalf of the applicant, G&N LLC. Just ask that you follow the recommendation of Planning Department, the Planning Commission, and approve the SUP.
Just as a matter of interest, what type of entertainment or what is the theme of this proposed?
It's going to be sort of a Latino nightclub and restaurant.
All right, thank you. All right, are there any other questions? Folks, a public hearing, if you'd like to be heard. All right, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing then. Councilman Barlow?
Yes, Mayor. I would like to move to follow staff and Planning Commission's recommendation for approval, subject to all conditions on this item, and good luck to your applicant with setting up a new venue here on East Fremont.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, this will be the 12th.
Sorry?
This will be the 12th venue on East Fremont Street that has arisen under this council's watch.
Very good.
So that's great. Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Council.
84 and 85. 84 is SUP 40843, request for special use permit for proposed car wash, full service use. 85 is SDR 40836, request for site development plan review for proposed 1,000 square foot car wash, full service facility. The applicant owner is 3B's Inc. The project is located at 8601 West Charleston Boulevard. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval of both items. These items are in Ward 2, and they're public hearings which are now open. Are you representing the applicant?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Rudy Starks, RSJ Architecture, 6069 South Fort Apache Road, on behalf of the owner, and we'd be happy to answer any questions for you.
Okay, any questions of Mr. Starks? Folks, a public hearing, if you'd like to be heard. All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilor Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Could you go back to the slide before that slide? Who controls that? There we go. Which pad are you proposing? Is it attached to the C-Mart? Is that what it is?
That's correct.
Okay.
It's the little piece that's below there.
Gotcha. It's the little rectangle that's below where
Correct.
it says C-Mart?
Correct.
Okay. What exactly is a full-service car wash?
It's one where you don't have to get out of your car. You just stay in your car, and it pulls you on a conveyor, or the belt goes around you,
Okay.
and washes the car, and then the dryer dries you as you exit, and then you're done. That's
Okay.
it.
And is there another car wash nearby?
I'm not sure how close the closest one is.
Mr. Flagg, are you aware of that?
The one that I'm familiar with is at the intersection of Rampart and Charleston, and then there is a hand wash facility that is about midway between them, I believe.
Okay, well, the one that would be at Rampart would be a mile or two away. Is that right? And then you said one that may be in between there.
Correct.
Okay. Welcome. We have a visitor. Has he been sworn? And what about hours of operation?
Let me check, just a moment.
I did receive some postcards in support and some postcards in opposition, and the issues that were raised were traffic,
Right.
and whether somebody said that there was a nearby car wash. That's been answered. And I'm a little concerned about the noise, but there is a significant distance separation between where this proposed car wash is going to be and the nearest residential neighborhood. It's a few hundred feet, I think.
Across Charleston, there's a multifamily, and then this faces east, and there's a Nevada Power substation across the street, so the blowers or any noise would probably be directed that direction.
Okay, when you say faces east, would the cars be going through it east to west or west to east?
They will be going west to east.
I see what you're saying.
And the substation is on the east side of
Yeah,
Durango.
and I saw that, and
Right.
that's true. So
And it is buffered by the C-store from the multifamily residential and
saw that.
the intersection.
So most of the noise, and you're not an engineer,
So I don't know the decibel levels.
but I mean, I think logic seems to suggest that if the cars are going from the west to the east, that most of the sound would be going easterly.
Correct.
And directly across the street easterly is that power station.
Correct.
Okay. Hours of operation, Mr. Flagg?
Councilman, in response to your question, we do not currently have, as a condition of approval, any restriction on the hours of operation.
Okay. What are you proposing for your client?
We wanted to have it be as open as possible because this would be one where you could get a receipt in the store and then just drive through.
Okay.
So there wouldn't be an attendant at the location. So
Is the store 24/7?
Yes.
So in theory, at 3 o'clock in the morning, if somebody wanted to get their car washed, they would
could,
pay
yes.
for it inside the store.
Right.
They put the token or whatever it's called
Right.
in the machine.
Or key code.
Or a key code.
Mhm.
And they drive through, and there's nobody washing or wiping down the car, is there?
Correct. That's correct.
You know, I'm a little concerned because I don't have a problem, 7 a.m. to 8 or 9 or 10 p.m., but at 3 o'clock in the morning, I like to have silence when I'm sleeping, and car washes are loud. So,
And I would agree with that if there were residential, directly across where we would be affecting them. But we're, like we said, we're the substation and the commercial shopping center.
okay,
And it's across Charleston.
is there any imminent need for this? I mean, if I obeyed it 2 weeks and invited you to come in so we could talk about this a little more, would that be okay?
I think it would be okay. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, my thoughts are right now, I'd like to do something of hours of operation, but restrict it. But I don't want to do that until I feel comfortable with the issue. So rather than shoot from the cuff and say, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., which would restrict you, I'd rather just put it over 2 weeks and invite you into my office and have staff do a little bit more checking on the issue of noise. I don't want your client to spend a bunch of money with some decibel study.
Sure.
Maybe I'd like to go out and visit the site, which I haven't done.
Okay. The other thing I could offer is a 1 or 2 year, and see how that works over time. And
Well, what if I give you 1 year and 2 weeks from now I'm getting calls? Go ahead, Mr. Scott.
I was going to say, it's sometimes better to limit the hours now and then have them come back in a year and ask for extended hours rather than you giving them the extended hours and then trying to lessen those hours.
But I don't know if I want to limit the hours yet either.
Well, I'm just saying, but yeah, just giving his
Yeah.
suggestion of the 1 or 2 years.
I mean, I could limit the hours and then have you come back, or I could just put it over 2 weeks and we could look at the whole thing. Why don't we do that? Are you local?
yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, my motion would be to obey this until our next meeting. I'd invite you to get with Mr. Flagg. He's from our zoning department.
Okay.
And I've outlined the issue that I'm concerned with, which is the hours of operation and the noise. And then come in and sit down in my office with me.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
That's my motion.
All right, let's vote, please.
And that can be on both, Councilman.
I'm sorry?
It can be on both items.
Yes, on both items.
Right. Opposed, please? June 1st. Okay.
Okay.
Be in contact, sir, I'm sorry. Be in contact with our planning department, and great, thanks.
All right.
Okay. Did we post yet, Bev?
Yes.
All right. Unanimous? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
86, you're welcome. 86 is SUP 41080, special use permit, a public hearing. The applicant is Czech City. The owner is Weingarten Nostad, Inc. Request for a special use permit to add a jewelry store Class 3 use to an existing financial institution specified at 6820 West Charleston Boulevard in Ward 1. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval subject to conditions. Before we hear from you, the record should reflect that Councilwoman Tarkanian is excused. She had a meeting with Jacob Snow of the RTC, and I know it's a very important meeting, and she asked to be excused. I think she's assigned the responsibility to Councilman Barlow. Is that accurate, sir?
That is accurate.
Good. Okay. Yes, Ms. Stewart.
Good afternoon, Lucy Stewart, 3900 Meadows Lane. And last year, I came through and added, actually, it's a Class 3 jewelry store, which is the purchase of gold and silver. They're not really buying jewelry per se. They're not buying. It's not the quality and the craftsmanship of the jewelry, but it's really just the weight of the gold and silver with the price of gold and silver going up. We've added it to every other store, but because of delay in getting the signatures, because I had to go to Texas and then the attorneys had to look at it, and it just took a lot longer. So it wasn't in that batch that you saw last year. So this is exactly the same that's been approved at all their other stores.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Ms. Stewart? Folks, public hearing, if you'd like to be heard. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Barlow?
Yes, Mayor. On behalf of Councilwoman Tarkanian, I would like to move for approval of item number 86, subject to all conditions.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post? Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Item 87 is SDR 41049, Site Development Plan Review, public hearing. The applicant owner is 1015 Centennial LLC. Request for a major amendment to an approved site development plan review for a proposed 8,775 square foot auto repair garage minor on 2.14 acres located on 2.14 acres approximately 230 feet north of Deer Springs Way, adjacent to the west side of Durango Drive. This is in Ward 6. The Planning Commission and staff recommend approval subject to conditions. It's a public hearing which is now open. Mr. Gronauer.
Your Honor, members of the council, I'm Bob Gronauer, 8345 West Sunset Road. I'm here representing Firestone in this matter. Your staff is recommending approval. The Planning Commission recommended unanimous approval, and we're asking you to follow those recommendations.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Gronauer? Folks, the public hearing, if anyone would like to be heard. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilman Ross.
Mr. Gronauer, I see a 6-1 vote from the Planning Commission. Was it unanimous?
I thought it was unanimous. Was it 6-1?
Made you look. Giving him a hard time.
Oh. Okay.
I will share with you and the council, I did get one extremely loud letter of opposition that was, I believe, was sent to all the council members from a Carol Lee Squires Properties LLC, which apparently she must own property around there. And Mr. Grunner, you and I both discussed this. I don't feel I'm agreeing with Mrs. Squires in regards to I don't really like this use there, but it is an approved use for that zoning. Mr. Fagg, you and I have talked about this in great length. We wanted in the city's vision for Durango Drive to be that place where there's a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, tavern uses, and I'm still not, still don't feel good about this, but it's an approved use in that location, and you guys have worked with me to try to mitigate some of these things. I will state, though, that the application is in order, and this is a site development, an SDR. But Mr. Brown, explain the major, or actually Mr. Fagg, explain the major mod for me, would you please? The major amendment.
Excuse me, the major amendment?
Well, it says this is a major amendment to the approved site development
okay,
plan.
I'm sorry. Yes, there was a previously approved site plan for this subject property. There have actually been 2 amendments to this. One was to add, I believe, the fast food restaurant that's on the northern portion of the site, and then this is the second amendment to add this particular use to the site. I believe there had been a number of retail uses proposed in a slightly different configuration here. And since they had a previous approval for that, by coming in with a different use than what was originally anticipated, this constitutes a major amendment to that site plan.
And I wanted that explained clearly to the public who may be watching this as to why we're doing, why it states that. This is an approved use in that location. I'd be hard-pressed to deny it, as we've talked about. I would like to see other uses in that location, but it's approved per our code. So I'm almost forced into accepting that in regards to that. And like I said, this is a site plan only. So with that, I'm going to move for approval, Your Honor, of Agenda Item 87, subject to all conditions. And thank you for working with my staff.
Don't say it.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And Madam Clerk, 89 is instructing you to please set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meetings in dangerous buildings or nuisance litter abatements. You're welcome. Then we'll go on to citizens' participation. This is item 89. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come up to the mic, give us your name, please, and we'll put the 3-minute timer on, but if that's not adequate, we can always change that. Yes, sir.
I think I'll speak better when I'm standing.
You don't have to stand,
My
sir.
name is Pastor Larry Mangles, and I live at 420 North 12th Street, Apartment A. And Council Wolfson, I was pleased to hear your comments on noise, because this entire thing, the reason I'm here is because of noise. The reason I'm here is because of a problem I consider very serious. The senior citizen complex where I live is Robert Gordon Plaza. I am one of the kids at 62. We have tenant age 70, 80, and one that is 92. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. It is a place where the elderly can spend their final years. I think I am going to sit down.
Got it. Have a seat, sir, and take your time, and don't be emotional if you get help.
Okay.
There's no reason to be.
Okay.
Just relax.
It is a place where the elderly can spend their final years and hopefully die in peace in their own bed rather than a nursing home or an institution. We have approximately 20 to 40 residents pass every year. Proper rest is extremely important. If I have a bad night, I truly suffer the next day. Sunday night, I was trying to get some rest, but the racket from the rodeo sound system made it impossible. After a very frustrating hour in disgust, I got up, got dressed, and started to walk what I assumed was the 1 or 2 blocks to the source of the sound. I assumed that since it was Sunday, that it was some type of revival with megaphones. After a very steady walking of 3 or 4 blocks, a kind motorist told me it was a rodeo and drove me to the site. My intention was to talk to someone in a position of authority and let them know that their sound system was a serious problem for me and other seniors in my complex over half a mile away. My apartment is cinder block and is usually very, very quiet. I was treated rudely at the ticket office and told by a volunteer, "No one is going to talk to you." After talking to people at the front gate and security guards, someone did come out. I tried to explain, and he cut me off and said, "We get complaints from people like you all the time. We have permits from the city. The mayor was at the head of the parade. You're not going to shut down the rodeo. Go home and write a letter to the mayor." When I returned to my apartment, I saw the fire truck and an ambulance was there, and they were taking a lady by stretcher to an ambulance. I have since talked to 2 people associated with the rodeo, and they could care less. The woman answering the phone at the Eldorado office in the Elks said they were building a radio grounds, which should be ready in 3 or 4 years. In the meantime, I could do whatever I want. When talking to another resident about the noise this morning, he said, I tried to cover up. And he said it was no good. Mayor, I'm aware you're not going to be here next year. But if the Eldorado Rodeo is not forced to act in a responsible manner, next year that location will not be a rodeo, it will be a circus, with seniors like myself in a wheelchair picket line, with blowhorns studding the Elks and the rodeo abused seniors, getting the ARP, everybody else that I can involved. 2 questions. Can you do anything to prevent them from harassing seniors over a half-mile away? And second, will you do anything?
And I believe that our Mayor Pro Tem is coming down to speak with you, and I'm sure he'll be able to.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear.
Our Mayor Pro Tem, Gary Reese, asked whether he could come down and speak with you, and he's going to talk to you, and I hope he satisfies your inquiries.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down, and thank you for your patience today. Did you hear me?
I'm glad that I waited.
Okay.
It was my own fault. I should have asked when they do this.
Okay.
And found out it was 2:30 rather than 9 o'clock.
Okay, because we saw you this morning, and we tried to advise you that we were going to do this afternoon so you wouldn't have to stick around.
You're going to take care of it.
Going to try.
Okay.
Okay?
Good afternoon. Dorothy Barnes. I have a mailing address of P.O. Box 466, Las Vegas, 89125. I'm here again because I'm activated into these meetings because I still don't understand why my name yet remains on a program that encourages prostitution, illegal drug dealing, anything illegal or immoral. In past meetings I have requested, I haven't done it in writing, maybe I need to do it in writing. I cannot afford an attorney right now to represent me, but my name should not appear on a program where people are prostituting and selling illegal drugs. And in past meetings I have requested that my name be removed from any and all such programs because what I understand, white supremacists and white separatists, they own the Negroes and foreigners that's on those programs that they're ordering to lie on me. And I have a problem with the police from time to time. But if you have corrupt government, that passes it down to corrupt law enforcement, then that passes down to corrupt citizens, and then we all have to pay a high cost of crime. But we need some law and order established with these people on Nellis. I've tried to call public affairs out there. They have not returned my call because I visited Senator Reed's office, and representative in Senator Reed's office suggested I speak again with public affairs since they won't let me on Nellis Air Force Base. But my case went before the Queen of England way before I came to this area. And when Queen Elizabeth makes a decision, she makes a decision based on her overall inspection and view. And it was so that racial and religious bigotry played an important part in the people over here victimizing the free one. And I was told they're supposed to check at the top before planning for the free one. And they're supposed to report free people to the people at the top. Because she has Parliament, she has British officials here. And I'm ordering and expecting my name to be surrendered to the British authorities because I have voted against the programs in this country. Now, if I have to live in London or Africa or wherever, it's okay with me. But I will not take down and go along and accept bribes and payoffs for this foolishness that kept up to support illegal drug dealing, drug addicts that are on drug therapy programs, victimizing me and threatening my life, and white supremacists continually threatening my life and my family's life so they can steal money from me to support their foolishness. Thank you.
Thank you, and please don't scare me in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm driving to work. I'm driving to work.
This morning
I have no peripheral vision. I'm driving my car, and all of a sudden I'm hearing banging on the window.
What scared me yesterday, I was in a bus accident at Decatur and Charleston. A guy rammed the back of the bus, and I was sitting in the back.
Better you being rammed than me.
You need a chauffeur. I've offered to chauffeur you around at least while I'm in this country.
Okay.
You need a chauffeur.
Thank you, Todd Farlow, 240 North 19th Street. First of all, I'd like to commend our scouts, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, truthful, brave, clean, and reverent. Gentlemen and scholars whose generosity exceeded only by their good looks and scholarly pursuits.
Right.
In the current issue of City Life magazine, there's a...
I thought you were going to have a Boys Life magazine there,
There's a-
Your Honor. I thought you were going to have a Boys Life magazine there, Todd.
No, City Life. Boys, all right. There's an article in City Life magazine addressing a problem with the assistant professors at our colleges and universities. And in the current issue of Nation magazine, there is an article that would comment on that. And I've got one for all of you, and one for the clerk, and one for the city attorney.
Okay. Thank you.
On what I'd like to comment on is what we have in academia, in other words, is a microcosm of the American economy as a whole. A self-enriching aristocracy, a swelling and increasingly miserated proletariat, and a shrinking middle class. Social mobility is now lower in the United States than it is in Northern Europe, Australia, Canada, and even France and Spain. A fact that ought to be tattooed on the foreheads of every member of the Congress, so directly does it strike at America's identity as a land of opportunity. A system of higher education that ignores the liberal arts, as Jonathan Cole points out in the Great American University 2009, is what they have in China, where they don't want people to think about other ways to arrange society or other meanings than the authorized ones. A scientific education creates technologists. A liberal arts education creates citizens. There's several ways of addressing the problem that we have now, but regardless of how you look at it, on one you can see the richest 10% of Americans own over 9% of all financial assets. 5 mega banks control 97% of the market and have $78 in derivatives exposure for every $1 held by actual business. The wealthiest 1% take in 25% of the total income. And this can just go on and on. 1% of the richest Americans have the financial wealth equivalent to the bottom 95% of the people. What I am saying is this is non-sustainable. This thing is going to hit the rocks, just like it has in our real estate that we're dealing with day after day in these meetings. And it comes to this love affair, I guess, that the American people have with the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve has mandates. The mandate from Congress is to stabilize the economies and the currency and provide full employment to the person's fullest capacity. They failed. They failed in every single event on that. And Mayor, I hate to do this, but I hold you a lot responsible for this. And the reason is this. You should be the governor. And the reason why you let everybody have a chance to speak. On the progressive agenda, we're just totally shut out. Totally shut out. But there's another thing here. And these I think I've got enough for all of you on this. Yeah.
Get me scared.
And this goes on the Federal Reserve. And basically what we have is a medieval system where in place of the Pope and the Council of Cardinals, we have Bernanke and the and the directors of the Federal Reserve. There's no reason in the world why a sovereign government should have debt at all. And that's my say. But when this thing hits the rocks, I hope that we can survive it all right. But I mean, it's bad out there. And basically, it goes against these banks. Show no mercy on these banks because they didn't show the people any mercy on those foreclosures. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Would anyone else like to be heard? All right, seeing none, the meeting's not adjourned. We have item number 90, which is any member of the council who wishes to speak.
Yes,
okay, okay, well, I'm not recognizing Councilman Ross today because of a lot of things, but we'll start. Councilman Ross, go ahead. I hope you feel bad.
Mayor, I feel terrible for the gentleman that was up here earlier. And since he brought it up, I would like to say something about the El Dorado Parade and Rodeo. Mayor, we had record attendance, of course, at both the parade and the rodeo. We had over 120 entries in the parade, which was phenomenal this year, and I want to express my appreciation to all the volunteers. Juanita Clark even volunteered out there. She's a member of the CERT team, and I was going to thank her today if she was here today, but she didn't make it. But just a great turnout. The rodeo was great. The parade was phenomenal. And I want to personally thank you for bringing that back during our city centennial.
I'm glad we did.
It's been a major, major event, and we'll work out the issues with sound and the seniors in the neighborhood. So just to reassure you of that. And also, Mayor, I'm kind of saddened to read this. The mayor holds a monthly open door meeting or coffee with the mayor so that residents who have issues to discuss or would simply like to meet the mayor have that opportunity. May 24th will be the last coffee with the mayor.
Ooh. I'm going to be around in June.
I'm just telling you what I've been told. And, Mayor, it's going to be out in Ward 6 at the Einstein Brothers Bagels on Durango. So I would like to invite anyone to come out there and join Mayor Goodman and myself to have a cup of coffee and a bagel and just talk about what's happening in the world today. Those are my announcements, Mayor, and I appreciate the time.
Right. It's good. Poor Mr. Adams is. It's an interesting day. Councilwoman.
I'd like to welcome to Ward 1 and to the rest of the city, have them be aware of a new business in Ward 1. It's called Dig This. It's the nation's first heavy equipment playground available for individual people to make reservations or for corporate events. What it does is it allows non-construction industry folks the once-in-a-lifetime chance to experience the thrill and rush of playing with massive, full-size Caterpillar heavy equipment. And I could not believe there would be a rush on that. I said, how do these people operate this business and be so successful? They've been very successful in Colorado. And the fact of the matter is, I was with some people and they loved it. And you know who particularly love it? Women. The women just love to run those big Caterpillar things with all those. And they have games, you know, where you pick up the basketballs with the big lever and then you drop them into a big round tire. It's really a lot of fun. And they've had a great success in Colorado, and now they're at Ward 1 where the Scandia Golf Course used to be. And after you have an instruction and safety session, you're led to a full-size, air-conditioned hydraulic excavator or a D5 dozer. I don't know all those, but I'm sure you do, Mr. Ross. And then the activities begin. For more information, you can go to their website at www.digthisvegas.com. Secondly, I'd like to say we have an upcoming event called Summer Splash, which will be held on Friday, June 3rd at the YMCA on Meadows Lane. And at that splash, you'll be doing some educational activities with youngsters, giving them some ice cream and letting them enjoy the pool for free at the Y. Thirdly, we have in Ward 1 another event coming up that we're sponsoring in conjunction with Ward 5 and Councilman Barlow's office. It's the Southern Nevada Latino Peace Officers Association's annual classic car show. This annual car show helps to raise money for scholarships for the children of fallen officers. The event will take place on Saturday, June 4th on 7th Street under the US 95 freeway. You see how good we are now at adapting to everyone. So we'll be under the freeway. There will be food and drinks for sale as well as other vendors, and best of all, there'll be some amazing classic cars. I saw them last year, and they truly are amazing. Anybody who's interested in more information can call my office. Finally, I wanted to thank all the city staff members involved with our Evergreen Tree Planting Project. It took a lot of hard work and some amazing volunteers. I didn't see the mayor out there, but I did see the Samoan Affairs group who gave us tremendous effort in the project. And in the end, we successfully planted all 75 of the trees we received as part of the grant from the Nevada Division of Forestry. And I know that Ricky is going to be planting some trees also. And Ricky, we were the first to go into that, so we have a lot of experience now, and we'll share all we have with you to help you. So next time you're in the area, though, take a drive up Evergreen between Decatur and Jones, right next to Arizona Charlie's, and you'll see all the work of our staff. They were out there on Saturday. It got pretty hot out there, but they worked very, very hard. And the canopy that used to be there years and years ago and died off, now it has a new canopy beginning, and it's going to be beautiful.
Mayor?
I have a feeling the mayor's laughing at me.
No. When you say the mayor wasn't there, I couldn't find it. Councilor Ross.
Just a comment, Councilwoman. Councilwoman, I would really like to come out to your new business over there and videotape you in a D9 operating a piece of heavy equipment. And I really would like it, just for posterity, just so you could say you did it.
She's speechless.
And I'll be there with you. And maybe next year,
she's speechless.
Maybe next year you'll jump off the stratosphere with me.
I will try and get you so that you can get over there if you'd like to, though you might want to just see how they did all this. Very innovative. And you know, Mayor, when I said that about Evergreen, I was joking because every place I go, you are, and so I know you
what?
got
You
everything.
didn't do the times for your various events that you talked about at the Y. What time is that going to be?
That's going to begin about mid-morning, 10 o'clock.
Okay, and how about the Latin Classic?
I believe that begins about 10 o'clock also, Ricky. About 10 o'clock also, 9:30 to 10.
Okay, good. Okay, Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mayor. On May 19th, which is a Thursday, 7 o'clock in the evening, we're going to have the Southern Nevada Law Enforcement Memorial Ceremony, which is going to be held at Police Memorial Park on West Cheyenne, right behind the Northwest Area Command. This is the annual event where we honor those officers that have made the ultimate sacrifice on the federal, state, and local level in Southern Nevada. So please come out that evening at 7 o'clock. Let's remember those officers that have fallen in the line of duty. It's a very solemn event, but it's a good way for us to remember those officers that have died in the line of duty, and to really let the families of those officers know that we still think about them, we still support them. So May 19th, Thursday, 7 a.m., right behind the Northwest Area Command at Police Memorial Park. Please come out.
Yeah, that's tomorrow night.
Yes, tomorrow night.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Councilor Barlow, anything?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This coming Saturday, as I shared with the mayor and council previously, that I'm taking up cycling. And so I'm teaming up with a community garden, Tonopah Community Garden, this Saturday for Biking with Barlow. I invite you and your family to bike with Barlow, myself, on Saturday, May 21st from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. to enjoy bicycling together and raising funds for the Tonopah Community Garden. Together We Can, a community nonprofit group of urban gardeners and concerned citizens, seek to benefit our community through gardening. And so if you would like to participate, please come out this Saturday starting at 8 a.m. And also we will have a trike race for trike race for the little ones. There will be face painting, music, snow cones, food, and vendors. And there is a small registration fee. So if you would like to participate, please go out and look us up on the web, and that's at www.tonopahgarden.wordpress.com, and that's this coming Saturday. The following Saturday, May 28th, as the councilwoman alluded to, we will be planting 185 trees. The City of Las Vegas received a grant from the Nevada Division of Forestry to place 185 trees within the historic Berkeley Square neighborhood for the purpose of increasing the tree canopy. And so for that, we need volunteers to help transform this historic Berkeley Square neighborhood on Saturday, May 28th. As part of making Ward 5 clean and green, I'm asking you to bring your friends, your shovels, and gloves to join me as we plant 185 new trees at Berkeley Square and then celebrate with a community barbecue. Groups of adult volunteers are needed to help plant these trees. The volunteers will gather at 7 a.m. at the corner of F Street and Owens Avenue. The project will provide shaded, walkable streets in this community at no cost to the homeowner. So that will be May 28th, 7 a.m. Please come out. Any organization or community group that would like to participate, and feel free to contact my office at 229-5443 should you need any additional information. Thank you so very much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Last but not least.
Last but not least, right, Councilor Wolfson.
Thank you. For 1 year now, at every city council meeting, I've been highlighting a missing child, and we're very fortunate that over half of the 25 children have been located. I want to thank Nevada Child Seekers for giving me the opportunity to bring their mission to the community in this way. The more people we have looking for these children, the better the chances are of returning them safely to their family. Please turn your attention to the screen. Take a look at the picture of Caitlin Marie Perez Abad. She's been missing since April 6th of this year. She's 17 years old. We're asking for your help in locating this young girl. Caitlin is 5 foot 8 inches tall and weighs 120 pounds, brown eyes, black hair, and she wears glasses. She was last seen in Boulder City near the Great Basin Highway and St. Jude's Street. She was wearing a black sweater with a leopard print tank top and might be carrying a bag with clothing. She's known to hang out in areas with live bands. If you know where Caitlin is, if you know where she might be found, please contact Nevada Child Seekers at 702-458-7009 or Las Vegas Metro Missing Persons Unit at 702-828-3111. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, meeting's adjourned.